my friends gaslit me for months, so I quit our viral content group.
What are they gonna do?
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Blah,
Dakota?
blah, blah.
Is this you?
It's me. I'm not here right now.
Hi, guys. I watch your videos and listen to your podcast all the time. I'm in a pickle and never thought I'd actually make one of these posts, but I guess there's a first time for everything. Welcome. I, 24 female, was in a group content creator thing. We all shared an account, similar to everyone in OK Storytime. I can't go into specific details because if I explain the niche, it would be kind of obvious to pinpoint specific people. By the way, this comes from Maladaptive Nightmare. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, when we originally started sharing this account, it was fun. We were all friends, just sharing what we love and hanging out. We were also doing events for people within this niche and wanted to show that there were people in the community trying to bring new events and fun. Last year, an event we hosted went super viral.
Oh, yeah?
Although it was very stressful, we really enjoyed it. And it gave us the drive to share even more content and do more for the community because we wouldn't have had the outreach without them.
Who are these people?
Who are you?
VTubers.
However, around March, things started to turn for the worse. After the event, I thought things were going okay, but I started to feel that the relationship we once had was gradually becoming more distant and unstable. Over several months, we started to get into more arguments and verbal confrontations about how things were done and our different opinions. Roles and autonomy in the group became imbalanced. I think it's super hard to, if you go into kind of any sort of content or theater, film, anything like that, and don't establish any sort of roles, like, or hierarchy, not hierarchy, but you don't have pre-established roles. I think it can be super hard to function in the long term.
You have to immediately find the beta.
Yeah.
And you say, you will be the
You're
mop,
the weakling.
the mop and bucket
You're
person.
the mop.
No, don't do that. Everyone just be cool.
Many of these discussions and arguments were because the biggest issue, in my opinion, was that I felt like no one would listen to me. To keep this post short, I will give a few examples of how I felt ignored or passed over. One example is when I posted a video around the time of my birthday. I mentioned a group of celebrities that I really like in the video and dedicated it to them. The video went super viral and many people in the niche were commenting and tagging the celebrities. Around the same time, the celebrities announced they would be visiting my city. I made another video about the same group and it went viral again. I was elated and told the group about it. I suggested we get in contact with their companies, showcase our videos, and perhaps do a giveaway for official tickets to meet them. You would think this would be a good idea, especially with how viral my videos were. However, I was met with silence the first time I suggested it. I asked again, thinking maybe they hadn't seen it, and was told to hold off because they were planning something related to these celebrities, which I had no idea about. I thought it was weird because we always tell each other our ideas before starting any planning, so I brushed it off. Over the course of 5 weeks, I kept asking if I could get in contact with them while the videos were still viral. I was either met with silence or told to hold off. And at that point, you do it anyway.
You just do it.
You just do it.
Do it.
Then, someone else in the group proposed the exact same thing with a completely different group of celebrities and was immediately given the green light. I asked about mine again as the date of the celebrity's arrival got closer. I was told no and to hold on, because something was being planned. 2 weeks before the celebrities came, I asked again and confessed I was hurt that someone else's idea was approved while mine wasn't. I still wasn't given a legitimate reason why I couldn't do it. Eventually, they told me they had dropped their plans some time ago and forgot to tell me.
Oh.
I'm sorry, when was some time ago?
Yeah, we're only operating in a time period of 2 weeks.
At that point, it was too late to contact the companies, and the videos weren't getting as much engagement. Another time, I asked if we could have a meeting before summer. Every time I asked, I was ignored. Weeks later, someone else asked for the same thing, and magically everyone responded. To keep this short, imagine incidents like this happening over 15 times in about 6 months. These were not the first incidents, and they still haven't shown signs of acknowledging that they hurt me. It really hurt to see people who used to listen to me simply ignored me. I told them multiple times that I was hurt, and all I got was, "We're so busy. We didn't see it," or "I'm sorry." It felt like empty words. I tried communicating my feelings one more time, and someone suggested we talk on a specific day and asked if people were free on Sunday at 6 p.m. Only one other person beside myself responded. By the time we tried to coordinate the meeting, a new conversation about a concert took over. I tried to re-engage, and again I was ignored. I felt exhausted and decided to leave the group and the chat. But we don't want you to ever leave your favorite podcast app, because you can listen to full episodes just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Oh, yeah.
There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Spread your wings and fly.
Yeah, you already have proven to yourself that you're able to make videos that go viral multiple times, it seems, and that you have like the business sense. Continue doing that and to make events happen that will help your brand and everything. So I think take that knowledge and leave if you don't feel like you're being uplifted in this community.
Yeah, if you're just being froze, if you're being kept on the outside.
Yeah.
No, sometimes they'll happen like in a group, like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but sometimes it's like clearly you were doing some stuff that was really good. All it takes is like one person in that group to be like,
I'm jealous. I don't like that you did it good. I want to do it good.
and then like it can just start to unravel
Seems like
the
that
group
happened here.
dynamic.
But there is a little bit left. After I left, all heck broke loose. They started messaging me privately, asking for me to talk to them and give them another chance, but I really don't want to. It hurts to be ignored by my friends, but I feel like they only want me to stay because they don't want to lose the account we have, not because they want to be better friends. It feels weird. Sorry for the vagueness and rushed feelings. I'm about to get on a call with them. We'll update later, but I'm not sure if I even want to continue being friends with people who ignore me and brush over my feelings. So am I the a-hole for leaving the business I had with my friends? And am I wrong for feeling conflicted about keeping the friendship? And that is the end of the story. I feel like if you're not seeing, regardless of whether or not you had the business, just in a regular friendship, if you have time and time again brought up how you feel and have been ignored, those aren't friends that are supporting you. It doesn't seem like they're good friends. And especially when you're trying to work together, you need to all be listening to each other or the business doesn't work.
Always be listening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're an a-hole. I don't think you're wrong for feeling conflicted. They're your friends.
Yeah.
Times it's hard to do business with your friends,
Ain't that the truth?
you know?
Good luck, OP. I think if you don't want to be part of this group and you feel like you can do better on your own, I think follow that instinct.
Go spread your wings.
But that's the end of that story, and we've got some comments from a previous video.
Oh boy. All right. These comments are from the video "I'm Suspicious of My Boyfriend's Hot Professor," which was posted on September 2nd of this year. TLDR is OP's boyfriend became friends with his young professor who shares his hobby. The professor joined group trips, shared an Airbnb, and texted weekly. OP felt suspicious and uncomfortable about their closeness. Then the professor found a Reddit post about herself and decided to set the record straight with receipts, claiming the boyfriend invited her to everything. She was never actually drunk, and OP completely ignored her at dinner. But her version of events raises even more questions about what really happened. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video.
I remember this story.
I do too.
I think it seemed like the original OP skewed a lot of things, at
Yeah.
least according to the professor. Because I think she said that she was never his professor.
She was like a assistant
Yeah.
professor, or
She was like never his professor. Or
she was
anything.
like she only taught like one class per week. Was actually just an accountant.
Yeah.
And was just doing this for like I don't know,
Yeah.
to get to experience.
And my cat's name is Karen says, "You've read this story before, right? You are."
Jamie Bailey says, I found the accountant side of the story completely sus. Remember that she is married and has reason to defend herself. The boyfriend said she invited herself, and she says he invited her. One of them is lying here, and the one who did other sus things is her. Her version of the events doesn't match on the meeting either. Opie said she greeted Bob warmly and didn't even acknowledge her. There is no way to interpret a wave at and a hi to them both as warmly greeting one person while ignoring the other. Because if you only made eye contact with one, you only greeted one. Why would Bob have gotten mad at the accountant if she made eye contact with and greeted them both? Sus, sus, sus.
I mean, someone's lying and we just can't know who.
Someone's lying.
Someone's a liar.
Something's rotten in the state of...
DM Cole says, I'm just an adjunct professor, and that's a shaky professional line to cross. Doesn't matter if he's a former student, graduate, or colleagues would have a few questions if they found out they were hanging out.
Yeah, that would raise eyebrows for sure.
World Domination 92 says, as someone who's been on the other side of being misinterpreted, I wish I heard it from the person. Instead, I heard it years later from a third party. It's just like this situation. If OP and ex-professor talked at all, this loss in translation would have been cleared. Instead, I think OP already had thought bad of her and just continued to find faults.
Yeah. So we have both sides. People seeing both sides of the story.
We got a real ambiguous story.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Dwight Smith 1123 says OP is insecure. That's the basis of this whole story. No one did anything wrong in the story except the accountant to be friendly to someone who she knows doesn't like her without reason is nonsense. I think OP just kept using the professor thing to try and support her insecurity by using the power dynamics. However, we all know she's an accountant, not a professor. All the accountant did was hang out with a group of friends, never alone with OP's boyfriend, so it's nothing but insecurities. Bob literally was just existing, trying to hang out with friends. All these expos and stuff they went to was with a group, so why should it be suspicious? He invites her to join the party. OP needs to fix her insecurities, plain and simple. Yeah, also the boyfriend shouldn't have been, I get he was like, friendly, but I don't know. There's a line there. I think the boyfriend egged it on too.
Men, stop talking to women that aren't your girlfriend.
I don't think he did anything. I think he went out with his friends and she was one of his friends.
Shouldn't be. She's not your girlfriend.
Can't be friends with anybody who's not your girlfriend.
Can't be friends with anyone who's not your girlfriend or isn't your girlfriend's friend.
Exactly.
The
you
only
saved it there.
people
You
you can be
saved it
friends
there.
with are your girlfriend,
and her friends.
And even then, it's like, why do you need more than just your girlfriend?
But your girlfriend needs her friends.
That was a good story. I liked that story. Y'all should go watch it.
Go watch that story. My ex married his affair partner, then she caught him cheating with AI.
Oh, that was not what I thought it was going to say.
You know, the friends that claim to still really care about you but are okay going on vacations with your awful ex and his affair partner right after separation? The ones who don't want to hear about your hurt and make excuses for his action? The ones who gaslight you into doubting your own lived experience as if they were there and you weren't? By the way, this comes from Yogurt Closet Old 2511, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice, goofly, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. The ones who include you as a pity invite to events knowing you probably won't go because your ex and affair partner are also invited. The ones who, if you actually do show up, give you an obligatory hug, then walk back over to your ex-affair partner and ignore you the rest of the time. The ones who resoundingly chose your ex but don't want to look like total a-holes, so they throw ya a bone once in a while. The ones who will continue taking from you while they give you nothing. This keeps going. The ones who fell for your ex's year-long smear campaign delivered under the guise of concern for your mental health. My ex married his affair partner over the weekend. I have
my God.
zero desire to go back to that man. That said, it was the push I needed to find the courage to stop torturing myself. Part of me was still waiting for old friends to finally acknowledge the heck I endured, while my entire world fell apart, which I might add, besides my now husband, my family, and my childhood bestie who lives 1,500 miles away, I survived largely on my own. I honestly would have just ghosted everyone, but I'm also a hairstylist. So to add insult to injury, the only time I see most of these people is when they need their hair done. So I'm not worth compassion in my time of desperate need, but they'll book with me so they look good for Friendsgiving with my ex. or whatever. It was so stressful and icky. All this dynamic did was drain energy I don't have, all for the benefit of people who don't respect me. It was a really difficult thing to do and felt like a small part of me passed away sending the messages, but that part was neurotic. After the initial wave of sadness, I felt the lightness I haven't enjoyed in years. I more or less did a form letter and changed some details to make it more personal. I'm sure they'll get together and gossip and discover this, maybe have a laugh, but I don't care anymore. I can't lose what's already gone. I already put more care and thought into the form letter than any of them deserved. And Opie says, hey, got a bit of a jump scare on the old Instagram this morning, wedding photos, and it solidified a decision I've agonized over for a long time. I can't continue to maintain personal or professional relationships with people who actively stayed connected to ex and affair partner. The ongoing reminder that I wasn't worth holding space for during an incredibly difficult time is something I can't carry anymore. I've shown up consistently for people before, during, and after my separation, many of whom didn't reach out once when things fell apart. I had to beg to be seen or heard. The silence should have told me everything I needed to know years ago, but here I am, having to remind myself once again that healing isn't linear. The past several years have been full of grief. I lost the version of X I thought I knew, the family I built, my home, my mother, and now clearly some of the friendships I once counted on. I can't pretend seeing you doesn't reopen wounds. I was holding back tears the last time I cut your hair. And if I'm being honest, it felt for a while like some people have stayed in my orbit more for the service than the friendship. Yeah, I was messy. Still am sometimes, but that's what years of trauma does to a person. And I think I deserve more than a conditional friendship after knowing some people over 20 years. I don't wish anyone harm. I'm just tired of milking a stone. And there are some comments, but do you have any thoughts?
I mean, and this was something that was actually sent to people?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Usually something like that is like something that you like type out or write out and then you keep to yourself.
Yeah.
But whatever works for you.
Whatever works.
By all means.
Comment 1. Good for you. That takes so much strength, and I feel like it's a form of self-love. I had to cut off a few people who wanted to remain friends with the affair partner too, because we were all in the same friend group. It hurt so much at the time. At times, there are still pain pings, but it's better without them in my life. Because, like you stated, it drags you down and keeps you further in the grief. It just amazes me people are okay with what she did. People don't want to be inconvenienced. I love what you said about it being a grief. It truly is. It's very weird to mourn someone who is still here physically, and you mourn so much from the life you thought you would have. I wish they would have given you the grace you deserved. I'm so glad you found it for yourself. And OP says, isn't it wild that some people can act like it's the same play, only difference is your role was recast? What took it to another level in my case is this woman was my friend. Moved into my neighborhood during the vid, and I was the one who introduced her to my friend's ex. The other women in our group didn't even like her at first, and I asked them to give her more of a chance. One of those women is the vacation buddy. Anyway, I noticed in retrospect she had been mimicking me. Her clothing started to resemble mine. She was always texting me from dressing rooms asking my opinion, and after crap hit the fan, I saw she tweeted about her formative album from childhood or something, and it was an artist I recently told her about. She even shared her all-time favorite recipe for years, and again, it was one I sent her. There was some serious single white female crap going on there. I think she really gets off feeling like she replaced me. Tangent aside, sorry. By creating a boundary with these people, I've reclaimed some of the power affair partner still held over me. Hard to have schadenfreude when the victim isn't doing the pick-me dance anymore. I love this for her, though. Now she can fully lean into her miserable future, stuck in a power struggle with a harmful man-child and crappy friends who will dismiss her just as quickly as they did me. At this point, it's more about taking bets on which one gets caught cheating first. You're absolutely right. They don't want the inconvenience. That's the conditional friendship I mentioned. The offending party and parties have to commit 100% to their choices or the cracks will show. I'm sure it's the last thing they want to talk about, unless it's an opportunity to feign more concern. They must know on some level they're the baddies. Comment 2 says, that was very beautifully written. I'm going through something similar and this part scares me, but I know it's important. Hope you get the healing you deserved. OP says, the wedding forced me to be honest with myself about why I was leaving the door open a crack for them. I asked myself what I was so afraid of. Turns out I was afraid of something that had already happened. I just wasn't willing to accept it yet. I'd written so many similar messages, but always chickened out. The absolute hardest part was pressing send. Once I did, I immediately blocked them on everything and deleted their numbers because I didn't want to give them a chance to revise history or tempt my own worst instincts to engage further. I think that part was key to preventing it from turning into unnecessary drama. We've already been through the ringer. I really encourage you to take your power back. You'll be surprised how much energy it's been draining from you. It won't fix everything, but at least you can stop singing and dancing for people who don't respect you. And there is an update, and I think we're finally getting to the title.
Whoa, finally.
I'm just going to go right into it.
I even forgot about the title.
Update that is much funnier than it should be. One of our mutual friends I'm keeping in my life came in for her hair last night. And boy, did I get some tea. So this dear friend was my neighbor when I was with X, and our kids are close. She still has to hang out with X and a fair partner on occasion because her husband is close to X. Anyway, I asked her how the wedding was, and she prefaced by saying, well, it was a lot less of a crap show than I thought it'd be. So already off to a great start. Apparently, X got so sloppy wasted that his brother, who was originally in charge of the smaller kids that night, had to babysit X instead. X is 51 for the record. Bro was not thrilled. Never in almost 15 years together had I seen X get so wasted he needed minding. I was told this is now a regular occurrence. By the way, it should be a regular occurrence for you guys to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Next day, X was so hungover he dropped a fair partner's ring and the whole wedding party had to get on hands and knees to find it. This was during the ceremony, by the way. He also insisted his bro, who was also the officiant, dress up like Jeremiah Johnson for reasons. Anyway, from the grainy pics I've seen so far, he looks like a confused Scandinavian elf smiling out of fear. Never in a million years would I have guessed right. Now, my favorite part. This might have made my year. A fair partner made X change his ChatGPT voice to a dude because X has been obsessively talking to it every night while holed up in their garage with a bottle of whiskey. I guess a fair partner was so upset that my friend was shocked I hadn't heard about it yet. I was wheezing, y'all. She went from being the other woman to being cheated on with AI. These people are such incredible losers.
This is crazy.
What a turn. What a turn there.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you get them out, you lose them.
Like, when you were saying the title originally,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, cheating on someone else, like, that's what you get. That's what always happens.
And then it's,
And then threw in the AI part in there? Crazy.
Crazy. But that's the end of that story.
My boyfriend doesn't want me at my best friend's wedding because my ex is the best man.
I can't keep up with this.
My boyfriend, 23 male, doesn't want me, 21 female, to go to my best friend's female 22 wedding. Okay, I don't know what to do because I'm really torn and I understand where my boyfriend is coming from. By the way, this comes from Sorry Particular 169, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon with allergies.
And we are here to give you some good advice goofily without any allergies. But we would love to know what you would do in this situation, because we're only going to tell you what our little brains would come up with, but we want to know what your big brains would come up with in the comments. So let us know.
Yeah, don't have any allergies.
Yeah, as OP says, my boyfriend Jake and I have been together for 2 years. We met during orientation at university. Everything is great between us. He's met my best friend Ella, who is getting married to her boyfriend of 4 years. They are high school sweethearts, and I love the both of them. We were all friends during high school and grew up together. They were always together and perfect for each other. I only dated one other person during high school, and his name was Sam. I really liked Sam. We dated for 3 years during school and spoke often about going to uni together and getting married. But it was young love, and when acceptance letters came around, he ended up moving out of state, so we broke up. My best friend asked me to be her maid of honor, and I'm so excited. We've been wedding planning for the past couple of months while her fiancé was finalizing his groomsmen. I was surprised when she told me Sam would be the best man. I told my boyfriend about this, and he wasn't happy with the idea of me attending the wedding, as Ella expected each of the bridesmaids and groomsmen to be paired up for activities such as walking down the aisle and the first dance, as well as photos. He didn't like the idea of me doing all those romantic things with an ex-boyfriend. I explained to him that Sam and I haven't even seen each other for 3 years, but he said he still felt uncomfortable with it. Jake is invited to the wedding, so I tried to say that I would still spend most of my time with him, but he said he still doesn't want to watch me walk down the aisle and have a first dance with someone else. Plus, he didn't want to have to be reminded of this every time we go over to Ella and her fiance's house, as all the official wedding pictures would be plastered all over the place. Dude, how am I supposed to prevent that? Like, I don't know. They want pictures of their big day. It just happens that me and the ex
are going to be in those
the
pictures.
wedding.
They're not going to take, I highly doubt they're taking paired up pictures of OP and Sam.
Yeah.
Why would they do? I've been to a lot of weddings and I've never seen that happen before.
I was the maid of honor at my friend's wedding, and we just took,
Yeah,
like, I
group
took individual
pictures.
pictures with, like, the bride, and then we did, like,
The
you know,
full
whatever.
group.
the whole wedding
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
wedding party, and then, like, just, you know, like, the bridesmaids and
Yeah.
stuff.
The
Like,
only-
I've
that's
never
what-
heard of anything he's suggesting.
The only
never-
time they
yeah.
do that is when you come, like, again, the dancing down, or like you guys
Yes.
are walking down. That's it. That's
Yeah,
all-
that's the
time.
only time.
This
Very
guy's
weird.
just insecure.
Yeah.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
dump him, date Sam.
Dumb of Jason. Does anyone have any advice on what to do? I love my boyfriend and I understand where he's coming from. I don't. But I want to go to my best friend's wedding. Edit. I just wanted to clarify a few things that I've seen people talk about in the comments. Thank you for everyone's advice. I really appreciate it all. First of all, it wasn't a big surprise that Sam was chosen to be Ella's fiance's best man. I'll also call Ella's fiance Luke for clarity. Luke and Sam have remained in contact over the years and are still super close, but I don't ask him about Sam too much just because I'm not super interested in what's going on in his life. The most I ask about is he good? And that's about it. Secondly, I didn't make this super clear in my post, but when I say Ella and Luke will have pictures of Sam and I plastered all over the house, I meant that there would be pictures of the wedding party all together around his place. Well, yeah.
Sam's
You
just
take
gonna be
pictures
in
of the
that,
big
bud.
day.
This is ridiculous.
Like, should we just Photoshop them out? Like,
yeah,
As for Jake, a lot of people are saying he's being controlling. I don't think he is.
I think he is.
I'm not his first girlfriend. He's only my second, other than Sam. And he doesn't like the idea of the photos of the wedding party being around, because in the photos it would have the whole wedding party together and he wouldn't be in the photos, which to him makes it seem like I wasn't there.
Boo!
Dude.
You're freaking who?
Dude.
You're not at the
part of
wedding
it.
party. It's not about you. It truly isn't about
No, this red flag
Huge
central
red
right here,
flag.
I'd be like, bye.
you. Yeah.
You're not going to let me go to my best friend's wedding?
I am the maid of honor at my best friend's wedding, and you are what? Making it about you.
Yeah. How about now you're not invited and we're broken up? Uh-oh.
Problem solved.
Uh-oh.
Maybe in a couple years you can marry me, and then we can have photos together, and everyone will know we're together.
But also,
Yeah.
you'll have photos together too.
Literally.
It's
it's
so
just
dumb.
in their house.
Does he think it's like
You have to get married whenever you walk down the aisle.
the only
with
time they
them.
take photos
Just
is
the
only of
rules.
like those people? That's it.
Yeah.
Not fair.
It's like, that's crazy.
Shut up.
I'm going to talk to him tomorrow about this and see what he says. I'll give an update soon. Update 17 days later. Okay, so I wanted to give you all an update since some people were asking. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do this. I've never made an update before. First of all, I read everyone's comments and wanted to say thank you. Even if I didn't respond, a lot of you gave me great advice, excluding the usual Reddit break up advice, LMAO. I talked to my boyfriend, 23, about it after I made the post and read some of the comments. I took your advice as well and made sure to explain that there was nothing romantic about walking down the aisle with a guy I haven't spoken to in years and having a dance with him. I also told him I'm going to the wedding and I'm going to be Ella's maid of honor no matter what. We had a bit of an argument about it and he wasn't super excited, but ended up saying he would come to the wedding because he would rather at least be there to celebrate Ella and Luke, Ella's fiance. And also he didn't like the thought of me having fun without him and him being all alone. He has a bit of anxiety. Oh, really? About that, and doesn't like being left out of things, so I understand why he didn't want to just stay home.
But then he'd rather have you stay at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
But
like
then
he just thinks he's
like,
left out of
accommodate for
everything.
me, though.
Yeah.
What about me and my feelings about this wedding?
He's like, I don't want to be left out of the wedding party. It's like, you're not. What? Why would you be involved in this?
He's like, if you don't go, could I be the maid of honor?
Yeah.
Literally.
I just think I'd be really good.
That conversation was 2 weeks ago, and since then, things went downhill. Yes. After the conversation, he was initially really sweet, his usual caring self. Then he became overly sweet. It kind of felt fine in the beginning, but when he started making comments and jokes about how he wanted me to remember how amazing he was as a boyfriend, it started to feel weird. Kind of felt like he was guilting me. After reading the comments, I started to notice more things too. He always asked questions about where I was going and who I was seeing, which isn't new, but I started to see it differently now. Then he started asking more questions whenever I was on my phone, asking who I was texting and what I was saying. Then he started reading the messages over my shoulder. This wasn't that big of a deal before, since he has my password and I have his, and I don't care if he reads my texts since there isn't anything to hide. Now it kind of feels like he's monitoring me. After that, the worst of it came. What do we think? What do we think it's going to be?
I don't know. I
do you
think
think
he
it was?
like yelled at her, or he
probably
texted
cheated.
Sam. Yeah, maybe
I
that.
feel like he probably cheated and then was like,
yeah, that's. I mean, he's just
No!
projecting this whole
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Makes sense.
He saw that you were like texting maybe Sam or like something regarding
like,
Sam. He's like, oh, you did it. I knew it. You're cheating on me.
Yeah.
Whenever I was going out, he asked me to update him, not in a normal way. As in, if I was in the shopping center, he would ask me which stores I was going to, what I was eating. He asked me for photos of the food I was having. I thought it was because he wanted to be involved, but I was dumb. I'm kind of ashamed to say that I did send him all of those photos and all of the proof he needed for a couple of days, but then I got sick of it. Yeah, because nobody needs to know what you're eating at all times.
Yeah, you're not living in the freaking like. I don't know.
There's
Just
no need for
constant
any of it.
surveillance.
Yeah. I asked him why does he need all that information, and he told me just because I want to make sure. I asked, make sure of what? He didn't really give me an answer.
He's like, just want to make sure, and she's like, of what? Just want
that
to
I'm not
make sure.
lying, that I'm eating. You want to make sure I'm eating?
I've just made sure that you're eating.
Actually, you didn't eat all the chicken, rice, and broccoli. There's still a couple little like things of rice. You didn't
you eat
eat
some
all
more?
of that.
Can you
eat some more?
separate the peas and carrots, please?
I don't like when they touch, so can
Yeah.
you do that?
Can you fix that? Thanks.
Then the final straw was about 2 days ago. Another argument, this time about Ella. He said Ella was trying to manipulate me into getting back with Sam, that she always had a vendetta against him. I said that he was being stupid because if that were true, she wouldn't invite him to the dang wedding. He said he didn't feel comfortable with me going. He said he didn't want me to go, and if I did, I was crossing his boundaries and that I wouldn't be his girlfriend anymore, because what kind of girlfriend would purposely cross their boyfriend's boundaries? So I told him that's okay. I wouldn't want to cross his boundaries, and broke up with him.
Nice.
You
Good
were
on
all
you.
right. He was controlling me.
Yeah, we were.
I don't feel happy about it. I feel sad.
It makes sense. You just had a breakup.
Well, you know what'll make you not feel sad?
What?
You listening to full episodes with stories just like this.
So true.
Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime.
Please.
There's so many
Please.
episodes. You could just listen one after another. Oh, all right. We're in the home stretch. What are we thinking?
Okay. OP already broke up.
Yep.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're
No.
going to a wedding.
Yeah,
No,
now we're going
Sam.
to a wedding. Let's
Who's going to be
see.
there? Sam.
We-
Oh.
We don't want Sam.
Why?
We want ourselves.
Yeah. But like also, they didn't break up for any like actual bad reason. They just want to call it.
Can you imagine? So you're the best man. I'm the maid of honor. What are we doing?
What movie is this?
This is definitely some sort of movie. What movie
They're
is
setting
this?
us up or what? I feel like I wasted years of my life on someone I loved. I told Ella. She didn't celebrate. She was sad for me too. Said he was nice, but I could do better, and I should be with someone who helps me grow my world, not shrink it to being just them. I'm going to focus on looking forward to the wedding and helping Ella out. Thank you to everyone again.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
it.
I was scared to tell my friend I liked her. She was waiting for me the whole time.
Oh, a true love story. I love it.
I have a girlfriend who I get along with really well. By really well, I mean we can spend at least 2 hours of constantly messaging each other, sometimes over 3 hours, or maybe even more. When we hang out, we just get along. We have good chemistry. We laugh at each other's jokes. We compliment each other, and we also underline just how much we like spending time together, literally every time we meet. By the way, this comes from Lolal Lil 123, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OP Okay, Storytime subreddit. I'm Angie.
I'm Savannah.
But we're here to give good advice goofily, all right? But we don't know everything. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do in the comments, and then we will know everything. Yesterday, we met at 2 p.m., and what was meant to be quite a short day turned out to be a night of sitting at a bar and talking all day and night until about 3 a.m. We could spend 12 hours together and still feel like we don't want to go home. She gives me all these signs that the internet shows me, such as being close to me physically when sitting at a table, body facing fully towards me when sitting together, big pupils. We're getting a bit more touchy too. She admitted last night to having a dream about us on a date, but obviously it's just a dream, so yeah, she can't control it. All these signs, yet I'm always saying to myself, no, she probably just feels super comfortable around me. That's all. I even try to give these pathetic little attempts at giving her hints. We went on a trip during a different night to a bay, and we sat on a bench, and I told her that I had a question, but not so sure how to ask it. And I left it at that. She tells me that she's been thinking about that question I have for her ever since I told her about it. And last night at the bar, she said, "You see any girls you want to hit on?" I looked around, and I quickly turned back around and told her, "You."
That's like that scene in that 70s show, and she's like, "Go ahead, Michael, you can kiss any girl you want." Because
Yeah.
she like cheated on her, and he kisses her, and then she's like, "You're the only girl I want to kiss."
Aww. Aww.
Stop it right now. I will spontaneously combust.
I'm totally fine staying as friends with her because she's just such a great person. And I love her company. But I feel as if there's something lingering in the air and it's bothering me. Not sure how to play this game. Instructions just don't exist for this type of thing. And we do have some comments. Oh my gosh. Commenter number 1 says, "I'm pretty late, but what did she say when you answered you?" No matter what she answers, that was your opportunity to make a move. Actually, you can bring that up next time you see her and tell her that you were serious and ask her what she thinks. OP says. She wasn't negative about it. We just play off more lovey, cute comments like, okay, sure, you silly. We don't say that, but that's the energy we give each other when comments like that arise. I've already made up my mind, and I'll ask her next week when I see her. Ooh,
Next week.
I'm so excited. Next week, like today's Sunday and next week is Monday, and that's technically a new week. But you're doing it tomorrow.
This
You know what I mean?
TLDR is not right.
Comment number 2. Instructions exist. It's called look down, locate balls, and grow them. You got this, bro. Put your serious face on, put your hand over hers, and say that you want to give this a serious try. Opie says, I have the urge to do that very often when I'm with her. But I'm just thinking, how awkward would it be if by some miracle she says no? Not even looking at the fear of rejection, I just don't know how I would even act knowing I just confessed and she doesn't feel the same way. I hope I'm making sense. I also forgot to add, she hasn't been single in a very long time and does mention sometimes how she's happy being single. So that's also something throwing me off. That is fair. That would throw me off too. But you know what? It doesn't throw me off. We've got an update. 9 days later. What do we think? What are we thinking so far?
I mean, you guys are obviously in love. Just do it.
Yeah. Do what, I may ask?
Yeah.
It?
Do it. You know what I'm saying.
You know exactly
You
what I
want to
mean.
go in for the little, and I'm saying you should do it. Cause why wouldn't you?
Honestly, like, people don't just make jokes, especially if they're going to bars. They're like, college age, out of college age. Like, people don't really make jokes at that age about, like, dating unless they're, like, truly platonic friends and they're, like, in separate relationships, like Kiana and Riley. Or, like unless they actually mean it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be joking about flirting with you unless they actually want to flirt with you.
Yes.
If you're both single, come on.
Then it's like, okay, yeah.
Come on.
You gotta read between the lines sometimes. And
Yeah.
also you have to read, what is it? Body language, but what's the subtext? Subtext. Look at the subtext, baby.
On to the update. I'm here to proudly say that I overcame my fear and told her what I was feeling, and she said she feels the exact same way. She said yes, and we both kissed, and I spoke about how long I wanted to tell her this, and she said that she was waiting for me to finally tell her. I cannot believe what happened last night. Yes, it was another day of meeting at 4 p.m. and going home 12 hours later. We went for a coffee first, then just sat around talking, really. Then we went for drinks, and we kind of struck gold as the bar that we went to last time didn't have ice, so we went to a close by cocktail bar, which was fancy as F. It definitely set the mood, and it felt so much like a date. By the way, it would feel like a date if you just like light some candles, make some food, and put on your favorite friggin' podcast, Okay Storytime. All you gotta do is go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform, and you'll find full episodes of stories just like this one. There is more to this story.
Under the candlelight, and here I am.
Period.
That girl is a lady.
Ooh.
Not the red light. Is it a romantic red light? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, that red light.
Wow.
I see.
Yeah, I hate the freaking red light.
But there is more to this
Pisses
story.
me off. And I'd say it again.
After a couple of drinks each, I proposed the idea of going to this nearby park with a view of the city. We went and sat on a bench there, talking and talking. Two people came and sat 2 benches away from us, playing some jazz-type music. It was the perfect volume and vibe. I thought to myself, it's now or never. This is perfect. And so I said to her, seeing as we've got some music playing, and the rest, well, you know how it pretty much goes. So there you go. I'm so happy. And there are some comments, but does that mean like he asked if they could be girlfriend, boyfriend, or make it official or something? Okay, great. I was like, is this marriage that we're talking about now? But that makes sense. That makes more sense.
I like where this is going.
Me too. Sweet. But we do have some comments here. Comment number 1 says, oh my gosh, that is so cute. Congratulations. So happy for you guys. It sounds like such a perfect night. OP says, thank you.
But with question marks, they don't really
Well,
understand it.
Well, the question marks, I think they like stand for some sort of emoji. And but it is really funny to see. Thank you.
So happy for you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's weird.
Weird. Comment 2 says, that was pretty obvious. LOL. Opie says, it was so obvious. That's true. I'm just happy I got the good ending. And that's the end of that story.
My friend turned my wedding into a contest because of her jealousy.
Well, did you win?
I, 26 female, have been struggling with something that happened around my wedding, and I can't tell if I handled things wrong or if I'm only now seeing what was always there. By the way, this comes from Mountain Material 55, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, Melissa, 24 female, and I met in college. I was 21 and she was 19. We had this chaotic professor whose class bonded everyone through shared misery, and from there, Melissa and I became inseparable. We hung out constantly and told each other everything. Over the years, I supported her through a lot. I was there when she cheated on her fiancé.
I mean, good for you.
When he found out and got aggressive, when she left him, and when she started dating the guy she'd cheated with.
Ooh, maybe not support this friend. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
I was also there when she found out she was pregnant, and I cried when I got to hold her baby boy for the first time. When she dropped out of college to move back in with her mom 45 minutes away, we still made time for each other. FaceTiming, visiting on weekends, and staying close. I finished my bachelor's, started my master's, and life got busier, but I never thought that distance had caused tension between us. Then I got engaged to my boyfriend of 7 years, someone I'd been with long before I even met Melissa, and it just felt natural to ask her to be my maid of honor. I even asked if her son could be my ring bearer, which made her so happy. The wedding was still 14 months away, so I thought we had plenty of time to plan and enjoy everything. At first, things were great, but then she started making comments that started to throw me off. She said my engagement ring was too small and not special, that it looked like my fiancé just picked the first one he saw. For context, he actually had it custom made at a local jeweler after spending weeks finding the right design, small, dainty, and simple, exactly what I'd always shown him that I liked. It wasn't big, but it meant a lot to me. Then she'd start pushing her own ideas onto my bachelorette plans. I told her from the beginning that I didn't want to go out clubbing or have spicy dancers. I'm more of a homebody. I had booked out a big Airbnb so we could hang out, smoke, drink, play games, and have a relaxed weekend. She kept insisting we go to bars anyway and seemed frustrated when I stuck to what I wanted. She also kept ranting to me about how unsupportive the other bridesmaids were. Nothing they did satisfied her, and she constantly tried to make herself seem like a better friend, even though she was already the maid of honor. She even got upset over me smoking with the other bridesmaids at the bachelorette because she doesn't smoke and wanted to do something with everybody.
I don't know, maybe smoke.
No, she does not have to do that.
Yes, you
but
do.
Maybe don't be pushing everyone to go out to bars. You have games
Yeah.
to play at this shared Airbnbs. That's fun.
There's just there's so many other things to do. And to be like, I'm left out and it's not even my weekend. Make it about me.
This was super late at night, and we had stepped outside to smoke for 10 minutes in between games as everyone was grabbing snacks or refilling drinks. She also started acting weirdly cold towards me after she found out that I lean conservative politically. She brought up politics one day and started ranting about something, and when I respectfully gave my perspective, she got upset. Before that, we'd never even talked about politics. There were also weird moments leading up to the wedding. She forgot about one of my bridal showers and then got upset when I wouldn't let her bring her son at the last minute. For my other shower, I did let her bring him, but she didn't really watch him, and he broke a few decorations. I tried to interact with him, but he was cranky and overwhelmed from the long drive. Afterward, she texted that she felt some type of way that I didn't spend more time with her son.
Literally, what? Are you the babysitter at your own bridal shower? I don't understand.
I apologized, but also gently reminded her that it was my shower and I had to entertain other guests. When the wedding got closer, my fiancé's parents paid for the cabins near the venue for the bridal party. I told Melissa that there was a room for her, but not her son. I didn't go into detail, but honestly, we'd planned for that night to be adults only. Okay. Drinking, smoking, staying up late, and I didn't think that was an environment for a kid. I'll admit I didn't tell her that reasoning because she has a habit of ignoring boundaries and bringing her son anyway. 8 days before the wedding, she called to say her son wouldn't be walking down the aisle after all, that he wouldn't do it, especially for strangers, and that my fiancé and I had not been spending enough time with her son. She said she was worried he'd act out and ruin the day. She also said she felt left out because of him. I was caught off guard, but I just listened and I told her I understood. I didn't argue, even though it hurt a little, and my cousin stepped in as replacements, who my fiancé wanted originally anyway, but I insisted on her son because of the bond I thought we had. On the day of the wedding, she spent most of the morning showing me videos of her son while we were trying to get ready. Her husband and son still came but arrived late, which caused the entire ceremony to pause for them to be seated. After the ceremony, when it was time to sign the marriage license, she apparently stood behind us ready to sign as a witness, but I had already asked another bridesmaid to do it. That's so awkward.
Oh.
People told me later that Melissa looked annoyed and didn't smile in any of the pictures, even the ones from earlier that morning. After the wedding, things got really distant. I texted her like I always had, but every conversation became one-sided. She only talked about herself or her son and never asked about me, my new husband, or anything going on in my life. I started realizing she had always been that way. I just hadn't noticed before. To add to all of this, she had a quick courthouse wedding to her baby's father last December. I took and edited all her photos for free, and I even signed as her witness.
That's huge, because that saved her a fortune.
My fiancé couldn't come because it was such short notice, literally a random Thursday, but I showed up for her anyway. And by the way, you guys should always show up and listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left, but what are your thoughts?
I mean, this girl just seems like she's a narcissist. She just wants to make it about herself, which, fine, if you could deal with that, deal with it. But, I don't know. I can't. I distance myself from those people because it's just annoying to, you have to ask about them. You have to hear what they're doing. You have to hear all the trouble that they're having. They're like those people that, never, are really happy. They just like complain about everything and then are like, yeah, everything sucks. Then you're like, oh, well, then you're unhappy. They're like, what? No, I'm not. It's like, oh, I don't know. Okay, never mind. Sorry. And then like they argue with you. It's like, I don't know what you want from me. I'm listening to your stuff. I'm asking you questions. I'm trying to be interested, but I'm really not because you don't ask anything about me.
Yeah, and at the beginning she was like, I don't know if she's always been this way. Sounds like she's always been this way. You like answered your own question there.
And also, especially like throughout the years, not like being able to like see each other and like going through all these changes of marriage and new family and like, you
People
know,
grow and change.
yeah, it just
Maybe
happens.
she was cool in college.
Yeah, and that happens.
Her ring was a big blue stone that looked more like costume jewelry, which she loved at first. But recently she's been saying she wants to redo her wedding to look like mine, even though it's not her style at all. And get a smaller ring like mine because it's cuter.
Oh, remember when she was like, this is small, dainty, and stupid.
That's insane. Now it feels like we're strangers. I've supported her through so many major moments in her life, but when it was my turn to have something special, she seemed jealous, judgmental, and passive-aggressive. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for not trying harder to fix the friendship after my wedding? Or was I blind to the fact that it was already one-sided and I'm just now seeing it for what it was? You're not the a-hole for not trying to continue this. I feel as though it may have been one-sided for longer than you think, but like that doesn't really change the fact that you're not an a-hole for not wanting to hang out with her.
Yeah, I mean, people grow up, people change, and especially when you don't see them for a while, like, sometimes they change for good, sometimes they change for bad, you know? You can't control how they are, but if this person isn't serving you or isn't, you know, like, giving you, like, a positive influence on your life and is just always, like, tearing you down or making you feel negative and whatnot, then you don't have to be friends with them. I don't know.
It's okay. Just start distancing at the very least and see what happens.
Yeah, maybe like start low contact and kind of just go from there. If it seems like, you know, everything you do is wrong, you're walking on eggshells, you know, for this friendship, then I don't know. It's really not worth it in my opinion. And plus she like lives, what, like 45 minutes away, so it's not like you'll like see her around, really. I slept with my best friend. Then he told me he wanted to keep his options open.
I mean, that's kind of fair of him, right? He's being honest.
Growing up, my 24 female best friend, 23 male, and I have always had chemistry. We became best friends in study hall and have had feelings for each other randomly throughout our friendship, but never really acted on things in fear of ruining the friendship besides a kiss. By the way, this comes from Affectionate Repair 7. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give some good advice, goofily. We do not have all of the answers. We don't need to tell you what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, last year we finally decided to give a relationship a try. We dated for 6 months and ended up breaking up because we were worried about getting in so deep that we'd never be able to go back to being friends if things went wrong.
You guys are driving me nuts already.
Yeah, I already hate this.
Like, we've like liked each other on and off for like our whole friendship. Nothing ever happened. But that one time we did kiss, and this other time we tried dating.
We tried dating, but then we're like, oh, wait, but what about our friendship?
Pick one. Either try it or don't.
There you go. We gave each other space, and things have been good. Last night, we went to a concert and ended up talking for hours about our friendship and relationship. We talked about how sometimes we still think we'll end up together. Wow. How romantic. By the end of the night, we ended up making out and hooking up. He drove me home the next day, and we planned to hang out later this weekend. Felt really nice and natural. He said the same. Part of me feels stupid thinking he still may be the person I'm supposed to end up with. I don't want to ever lose him, though. I also wonder if any of that meant anything to him or if it was just spicy sleep. I guess any input or insight would be nice, and there are some comments. Comment number 1. Why the heck are you both trying so hard to keep your distance from someone you obviously love? How do you think most relationships start? Yeah, maybe it doesn't work out. Same could happen to your friendship anyway. Stop torturing yourselves and just go for it. Unless you're just saving up for the next time you have a go at this whole life thing. Comment number 2 says, the reason for why you broke up is so stupid in my opinion. Just go along with the relationship. Nothing is gonna go wrong. You both are attracted to each other and have great chemistry. Why bother staying lifelong friends when you can potentially be lifelong partners?
Right. Because also, how awkward is that when one of them gets a partner or something and it's like, here's my best friend. I still think we might end up together forever,
yeah.
but you're here for now.
Like, we're supposed to end up together, but like, just not right now. Maybe in the future. I don't know. Only the stars will tell. It's like, do you want to be together or not? OP replies, I just feel like we have a lot to lose, and I really don't want to get hurt. He's a very logical person and has never said I love you romantically to anyone. We have said I love you to each other since we were kids. I'm just worried he'll never be in love with me.
He hasn't told anybody that he loves them his entire life, except for you. And you're like, what if he never loves me?
I just like, were you not there when you typed that sentence? Like, I don't understand. Like, does someone else type it and then you finish the sentence? Because in those last 3 sentences, it was like, he never said he loved me. But then, ever since we were little, he said he loved me. But I don't know if he's in love with me. OP, you're exhausting. I'm sorry, but get a grip. Comment number 3. If you have this kind of friendship of the opposite gender, it is disrespectful to maintain it after getting in a serious relationship anyways. You guys obviously have feelings for each other, and no boyfriend or girlfriend would feel comfortable with their partner hanging out all the time with someone they've had spicy sleep with. Be with him. Let your relationship happen naturally. Never knowing if you could have been something more is more of a tragedy than losing it by exploring deeper. OP replies, I think that's a big reason why we ended things too. I want him to be in my life forever. We have both said this. I could see him being with my future children's godparent.
No, you want them to be your future children's father.
Yeah,
That is
what?
what you want.
We both thought that if we ended it where we did, with it still being pretty new, that our future partners probably wouldn't mind. What? OP, you want to be together, but then you're like, well, I don't know. If he wants to go see other people, like, he can, and maybe I want to do that as well. But, like, in the end, I think we're going to choose each other. Why
Just
not?
date him.
Yeah, just date. Just date. I don't understand the big, like, this is, like, hurting my brain to try to comprehend. Oh, there's an update. The next day, I ended up celebrating the Super Bowl with him. It was an amazing time, especially being from Kansas City. We acted like a couple the whole time, and things felt really natural. We won and had amazing spicy sleep. I woke up to him holding me, looking at me. It was sweet. I got ready for work and kissed him goodbye. We agreed to talk more about things that Friday. Well, it's Friday, and I just got home. I'm going to be honest, I think he's confused.
I think you're both confused.
Literally, what could you be confused about? It's been, what, a day? I don't know. I don't know what. No, Super Bowl's on Sunday. So it's been
about a week.
Okay, almost a week. I think he's confused. I'm confused, OP. The first thing he said when I walked in was, I don't think we should do it. Considering I had been thinking about this all week, I wasn't really sure what it was. He expressed that he didn't think we should get back together. That he felt like it was a great time, but he wants to look at it as a party thing. Okay, so he's a jerk. He only sees you as a nice hookup and not as like a future partner.
I do want to give him some benefit of the doubt because this just seems like a crazy situation. And I want to know, like, if OP's being a reliable narrator in that things actually had that chemistry or if she's just had that chemistry.
I don't know. I feel like OP just overthinks. It's like exhausting. It's exhausting trying to like relate to it.
This is your definitive answer now, though. Do not try to date this man. We're gonna maybe we need some therapy. We need to let this man go. Move on.
And don't be like, oh, we're gonna be friends now, but later when he's done having fun with all these other people, we will come back. Don't wait up. Go live your life. Who cares? If you end up together later on in life, cool.
Don't even have that as a thought.
Yeah.
It's spiraling you.
Exactly. It's like, I just want him in my life. I want him in my life. Okay.
Honestly, I don't even know if he should be in your life as a friend if this is how it's gonna keep going.
That's true. I told him straight up that I had a great time, but didn't look at things that way. That I don't tell hookups that I see myself marrying them or talk about raising kids. He agreed and apologized. I said that he didn't need to apologize, and the only reason he should is if he only said that so that he could get laid. He said he didn't. At this point, I told him that I was really confused. I mean, that first night, he was the one who said he wanted to just be really close friends again, but then ended up making a move on me. And I know we were wasted, but he has never expressed things that deep, even when we were dating. I mentioned all of this to him, and he agreed and said that he still thinks it could be us, but that in the end, it's probably more about our timing. I agreed, but still, I don't want him to only love me when he's lonely and vice versa. I don't want us to be each other's backup plan. I told him this, and he said I was never a backup plan to him, and that he feels like he compares every romantic relationship to us, but that he can't make any promises for the future. Translation, I think he just wants me on the hook and doesn't want to eliminate his options. By the way, you better keep your options open to listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime. There's a little bit left.
I think you guys should stop talking to each other.
Yeah. I just feel like this is so toxic in, like, not getting a definitive answer and you just, like, sitting in limbo for, like, who knows how long? You don't know because he doesn't give you a time frame. And not that he has to, but it's like neither of you are willing to be like, I want to do this or I don't want to do this. So, like, one of you has to be the bigger person and just make a decision already. And if that makes you a bad guy, who cares? At least you made a decision and stuck with it. Like, then you wouldn't have to be in this weird questioning state all the time. Like, that's more exhausting than just either being with him or not being with him. Truthfully. I'm pretty frustrated by everything. Mainly because I know him and feel like I know what he's going to do next. It sucks being so close that he's this predictable. He has a Reddit account and it wouldn't surprise me if he reads this. Regardless, I'll be fine. Probably going to be sad and write a song and then move forward. There's more I wish I would have said to him though. I can't help thinking that this man will either be the person that I marry or he'll watch me marry someone else. You know, that's usually what happens. Not to like throw away your utopia, but
that's like the risks of dating.
Yep. It's either that's why people have exes, because guess what, it didn't work out, and then that's why, you know, then you be with someone different and then maybe you end up marrying them, maybe you don't. And then, you know, those people will be like, they're married.
Both in a delusion land. Here's another option. You don't have to watch him get married to someone else or him watch you get married to someone else because you don't have to be friends anymore.
That's also a freaking option.
You can just have a breakup, finally. 'Cause you're like pseudo dating.
I wonder if he's thought about that and how it would make him feel. And that's the end.
I literally don't care how it would make him feel because it's making you crazy.
Yeah.
So you need to stop.
OP, focus on like what you want. If you want to do it, then be like, oh, I want to do it. And if he says no, then be like, okay.
He already said no.
Yeah, exactly. And so just move on then. Just be like, okay, well, this is what I want. And if it's not going to work with you, guess what? It can probably work with the, like, 7 other billion people that live on this planet.
My best friend is facing karma, but her mom thinks I should fix it.
Not my life, not my problem.
I want to start off by saying the situation is pretty much done, but I am unsure if I did the right thing or if I was being spiteful. By the way, this comes from No Increase 2286. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all of the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, background. I moved to a new state about 7 hours from my hometown. I, 20 female, met a few new people, but I mostly connected with the woman from work, 20 female. And she and I hung out every day for 3 months. Her family met mine. Our siblings became friends. Our moms became friends. But my friend, let's call her Daisy, moved to a different department. And that department had a lot of her childhood friends. I did not connect with them. I kept it strictly professional. Even if we didn't work here, I would not want to be friends with them in real life, not my crowd. Daisy began kind of isolating me. Like if I said something, she would say something sarcastic to get a laugh from others. Then came a weekend, I went home and Daisy was already at my house, telling my mom about things I did or said in the office. I'm gonna be straight up. The second that we found out that Daisy's friends from childhood weren't a crowd that we liked, we might have started assuming that Daisy was part of that crowd.
I would assume that.
I don't have a good relationship with my mom. Another post for another day. They were rude and talked about how I am so uppity at work and started dating this musician. Sure, I guess. But then it was like something clicked. And after that, she began doing things out loud. Like saying, I already took your mom. Now watch me take your boyfriend. Which she did.
Whoa! Whoa, what? That's crazy. Who is this witch?
We're not friends with Daisy anymore, right?
No, screw her. Daisy, more like lazy.
He and I broke up because he felt he was getting more attention from other girls, even though he knew those girls didn't like me. So I told him I'm glad he told me about it, and I left it alone immediately, like pretend he didn't exist anymore. They dated for 3 to 4 days, and she said she hated the way he kissed. She spread pictures of him. Well, that's illegal.
Huh? Why? I don't like the way you kiss. I'm gonna ruin your life now.
And embarrassed him really bad. The following week, he was like, let's get back together, and did a whole public gesture just to get publicly denied.
This guy, he's a hopeless romantic.
It hurt him, but another day for that story as well. Here is where I need advice. When she did this, it was to make me feel isolated, or she hated me. I don't know for sure. But this made her friends disgusted. They began calling her a sleut and other derogatory names. She was picked on. She was isolated. She was complained on for trivial things like turning in assignments an hour late or not filing things correctly. And instead of just telling her, they would complain to management. They started calling her the town pass-around. See, do I think she's a terrible person for what she did? In a lot of ways, yeah. Do I think that you should, like, ruin someone's career over it?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I don't think so. I don't think you need to, like
it was bad, but I don't think that it should be career ruining.
Yeah, like it, of course, like I don't agree with what she did, and I think that's like a really crappy move, but you know, that's a whole separate thing from work. And like the fact that like they're going to like the manager and being like, oh, she's not doing this, blah, 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 when they could just tell her. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just like, leave her to be a miserable person on her own. We can just like all forget her, and that's karma enough to me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, truly.
If she did something a lot worse, my opinion might change, but
I agree.
This is bad, not career ending. Just really giving her a hard time. The girls even came to me to tell me they support me. Even though I told them all the things they were doing was not cool and I don't agree. And one specific friend asked in front of everyone and Daisy, so you don't think Daisy is a witch? Or do you forgive her? I said, I don't know if she is anything, but I will say she is not my friend. Daisy came to my house with her mom, and our moms talked in the kitchen, and I went to my room. Daisy attempted to talk, but I told her guests stay in the living room, and she couldn't go to the game room either. My siblings were playing in there, and they hate her. Well, Daisy's mom came to my room and attempted to talk about what happened and how sorry Daisy is, and she is having nightmares. My mom noticed and came to my room. My mom mentioned how Daisy was no longer giving updates. She told me in front of Daisy that she wants to know everything I do, and she will make me friends with her to know everything I'm doing. So the fact that Daisy wasn't giving her updates, she felt like she was being a better friend to me, but really Daisy wanted me to not be mad anymore. Daisy asked if I was happy to have her friends, and now her mom thinks she's a witch. I told her I didn't want her friends because they would eventually treat me like her, and they weren't true friends to anybody. I told her she made her bed, and I don't care if she's having nightmares or sweet dreams in her. Daisy moved jobs. I didn't notice. I thought she was still calling in to not face everyone. Her mom, my mom, and Daisy basically begged me to publicly announce that I forgive her and try to trust her again. I said no. They said that it was not fair for me to let people publicly shame her, and it was just her being a little jealous, and I don't even like those girls. It's not her being a little jealous. She literally stole your boyfriend and then spread pictures of him around, like, That's not, no, there are consequences.
And then also going to your family and being like, oh, like me and your mom are BFFs.
Right.
Ha ha ha.
I'm
Like,
gonna steal your boyfriend. Ha ha ha.
yeah, like I'm going to tell her everything you do since you don't tell her anything.
Crazy. When you don't have a good relationship with your mother.
Yeah, like what? Like, I don't know what you want from me.
Why are we not going to the friends and being like, hey, you guys are the ones doing this?
Right?
Like, OP is not doing this.
Yeah, OP like was kind of just like caught in the middle of like her whole like scheme, and then now her friends are like, you know, taking OP's side, but OP's like, I'm not on a side. I'm just trying to live my life. Why is this girl here?
I don't want to talk to any of you. I said, well, she got the chaos she wanted. Daisy broke down crying, and I punted them all out of my room for bad vibes. This was months ago. I have blocked them all and have not spoken to my mother for other reasons. But by the way, you guys can never stop speaking to us because there's always new full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Search up OK Storytime. We've got just a little bit left, but girly, good on you for just distancing from it.
Yeah, I mean, good for you, OP, for not getting involved and like getting back into her web and her drama and whatever. Like, it just seems like she just, you know, it's like those people that are bad people, but like if you call them out as a bad person, they're like, what? No, I'm not. And then they're like, tell everyone that I'm not. And it's like, no, because you are. What? No, you. No one can know that. Only I know that. You have to tell everyone that I'm a good person. It's like, actually, I don't have to do anything because you did this to yourself.
She just reached out to me again because people at her new job have heard about everything. Small world. She is asking to hang out and try to earn my trust back. Should I just say I forgive her, or am I being spiteful? I don't forgive her because she did this for laughs and not because I did anything to her. I do feel sorry for her, though. She is being shamed over something so small, and I don't even care that bad. I have no attachment to this place. I'm actually leaving soon. Should I make sure she is okay before I leave? I don't think so. I don't think that, like, I don't think she spread that man's private pictures around. Like, that's not just laughs and not, like, small and nothing to care about. Like, even if she didn't do something to you, she did do stuff that has, like, potential large consequences. And she did still do stuff to you. You're just really chill about it for some reason.
Yeah. I don't think that you're the a-hole for not forgiving her. I don't even think it's, like, out of spite. I think it's, like, you just don't want to deal with it because you're not her friend, and she, like, really wants to be friends with you because I think, like, everyone views you as, like, her position that she once had in, like, the group. And so she's like, I want to get that back. So if I can, you know, get her to be friends with me, then she can tell everyone that I'm not this bad person. And it's like, but you did this to yourself, though. I didn't, like, tear you down and make you go out with my boyfriend and, like, be friends with my mom and then send all these pictures of my ex, like, out to people. Like, I didn't tell you, I didn't force you to do all that. You did that on your own. And then because I was, like, involved with him before, it's somehow becoming my problem. But I don't even talk to this guy. And guess what? I don't even talk to you either. So, like, I don't understand what the issue is here with her. Like, she just really, really needs that reassurance of, like she needs to go to therapy, honestly. I refused to go to my friend's wedding. Then everyone else did too.
What did your friend do?
I, 51 female, have been best friends with Greta, 51 female, along with her twin sister, Grace, since high school. For 30 years, we have been the Three Musketeers. By the way, this comes from away ad 7700, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give some good advice, yet goofily. We don't have all the answers. We can only tell you what we would do in this situation. So let us know what you would do down in them comments. As OP says, Greta has been married and divorced 3 times and has 1 son from her first marriage. None of the marriages have been healthy, but nonetheless, I have never wavered with my support of her. Until now. 4 years ago, she met Kyle on a dating site. They began dating, but he was upfront that he never wanted to get married again. He was married 1 time with 4 kids.
Oh my god.
He has a good steady job, which is literally the only good thing I can say about him. Ooh.
That's rough.
So that's already a red flag. Every year, she moves out for a week or so because she gets tired of being ignored and put down. He tells her to get over it. He has poker nights with his devil's lettuce buddies, to which he is the dealer. It is still illegal in our state. He comes to bed in the middle of the night, sleeps till noon on the weekends, and really just does his own thing. If she's okay living like that, so be it. My biggest issue is that Greta has health issues. She has terrible asthma. He smokes many things in the house and doesn't care. She has bad stomach issues and has also gone to the ER for chest pains. Her twin always has to drive an hour to take her to the ER because he refuses to go. Why?
So this man is just the absolute worst.
Yeah, so he just doesn't care about you. Cool. Bye. He tells her she just wants attention. Well, one of these times, it was a heart attack.
Oh my god. Ah.
So she's like, I can't breathe. I'm having a heart. It hurts my chest. And he's like, all right, I guess I'll call your sister. Drama queen.
It's like, I'll call your sister. You can wait an hour for her to drive here to take you to the ER.
All right. Okay, guy. Thanks.
Crazy.
He clearly doesn't care because she's been back to the ER 2 times and he can't be bothered. He is emotionally harmful, puts her down constantly, especially making comments about her weight. I will come back to this. Or just ignoring her. The last time they broke up, I flat out told her my feelings about him and that I had hoped she was really done because he is a piece of crap and she deserves someone who will treat her nicely and actually respects her. I found out a week later from her twin that they were back together. I assumed it would happen. After the trauma from all her exes, she has become used to being disrespected. Ugh, that's so sad. She is also very codependent. Used to being disrespected and also being codependent are like 2 of the worst qualities like put together. That's like just a recipe for disaster. And of course people are going to take advantage of you because you're not going anywhere. He can do anything he wants. You're not going to leave. Or if you do, you leave for a week and you come back. Like, you're just letting him get away with everything. That's not okay. Well, this time she convinced him to marry her. I asked her why they need to get married. Can't she just live with him because inevitably they will break up again and then she has to pay for yet another divorce? I told her I loved her, but I will not support this and to please not bring his name up around me. I know I hurt her by saying this, but I truly loathe him. Well, she gets to planning the wedding and keeps asking me to be a bridesmaid, to which I finally give in and decide to put my anger aside, get on board, and just do it. I wasn't going to let this piece of crap ruin a lifelong friendship. I started getting into all the planning with her and Grace, and it was fun. About a month later, she told me that Kyle had mentioned asking his 6-year-old daughter to be a bridesmaid along with Grace's 2 daughters in their 20s, and me. The problem being that there were only 4 groomsmen, so I wasn't needed now. I told her that was fine. It was her day. I didn't really want to do it anyways, but my feelings were hurt. Now let me introduce Millie. She also graduated with us, but she isn't close like the twins like she is with me. But they are all friendly. We all meet up for some shopping and lunch one day. Greta and Millie end up in a separate aisle from Grace and I, and Millie also asked why do they need to get married and not just live together. Millie tells me about this convo later on. She has known about Kyle because she asked about the twins, and I've always told her when I'm relieved she broke up with him. Then to have to tell her they are back together. Anyway, the guy that I had been seeing, we broke up. So I was going to be coming solo to the wedding and dreading it. Millie offered to be my date if I didn't have another one by then because she didn't want me to feel awkward at the reception. Let me also add that I dated their brother for 3 years and he would be there with his wife. I don't have a problem with this, but he is always uncomfortable, so I don't sit with the family. I mentioned this to Grace, who in turn told Greta, who sent me a really long message about how Millie was not welcome. Oh. She gave me a +1, so I asked, what was the big deal about who came with me? It was all because she asked her, why does she need to get married again? I told her that was nothing that I haven't asked her myself many times. And she wasn't asking to be rude. She was just curious. This ended with a big argument over text, and at the end of it, I told her I was done arguing and would just take myself out of the equation and not attend the wedding at all, since I was no longer needed anyway. This has lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. I have seen Greta a couple of times since then. We try to be as close as we were, but it's strained. She mentioned, now that I was seeing somebody, maybe I could bring him to the wedding in June. And I just looked at her and said, we're not talking about that anymore. She said, okay. I did find out that she's been telling people that I'm not coming because it's awkward because of her brother being there, which is absolutely not true. I've been to other family events with him there, but if that's her story, that's fine. So, am I the a-hole for not going to my friend's wedding? I wrote this a while ago but never posted, so here's the next section. Oh, there's an update.
I don't want to call you an a-hole, but I do think that you might just need to suck it up and go support your friend even if you're going alone. Because even though you've been there and you've been putting up with just this crappy man, this might be a time that she really, really needs you. And ultimately you're not saying that the reason is because of her crappy fiancé. If you had said that, I might have been a little bit more okay, I can maybe get on board for that, but maybe support your friend. But just because you can't have a +1 for your comfort, I think it's more about in that moment being there for a friend who's going through it and is committing to going through it for some crazy reason.
All right, let's get into the update. While she has had a lot of legit health issues, Greta has started getting bothered and nervous by everything. She had mentioned a lump on her back. The three of us, Greta, Grace, and I, were visiting their mom for lunch right after Christmas, and she asked her mom to feel it. Her mom told her, and I quote, "Honey, that is just a roll from where your bra is." Apparently that evening, Kyle sent their mom a text telling her that she hurt Greta's feelings by calling her fat and continued to go off on her. Her mom was devastated. She was crying and sent Greta a text saying she couldn't believe that Kyle had texted that to her after everything he himself has called her. Her mom told her that she would no longer be attending her wedding. By the way, you can have perfect attendance with us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app, and just search up OK Storytime.
See, now, I don't think her backing out is because you backed out. I don't think those two things are related. So if they spin this on you, that's not you.
Yeah, if they try to spin it and be like, oh, you're just backing out because, OP got to you or blah, blah, blah. And it's what?
I'm backing out because your fiance sucks.
Yeah, because he's being a little mean.
Yeah. Best case scenario, whole wedding gets called off. He sounds terrible.
She called Grace sobbing and told her about the text from Kyle. She was livid and also texted Greta that she would not be maid of honor or be at the wedding, nor was her husband or their dad coming.
Dang.
Okay, so your whole family doesn't agree with this, girl. Grace's daughters, in turn, also texted their aunt saying, Grandma didn't call you fat. Kyle is the only one who has ever called you fat. We will not be bridesmaids and will not be at the wedding. Okay, that's crazy to have the entire family involved, with the cousins, aunts, uncles, something.
I see a whole different story now.
Yeah, now this is family drama.
It's a family drama.
I thought this was boyfriend troubles. Their brother and his wife have backed out as well. I found out yesterday from her sister that a friend of theirs that they've known also since right after high school is now going to be the maid of honor, but offered to step back if Grace decided to do it herself. She told me she won't. Just like me, she is relieved to not even be going. The only guilt I feel is from the regret that our friendship will never be the same now. Am I a terrible person?
You didn't do the whole family leaving thing. That you didn't do that.
It seems like Kyle is manipulating you and making you feel all your family's attacking you and blah, 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 and I'm the only good thing in your life, and you need to get rid of all of them and just be with me and all this stuff. This just feels like it's very manipulative and not a very good relationship. It already, was toxic from the beginning. It's not going to get better after marriage. I just think you need to get rid of this guy. But I know that this is not Greta's story. This is OP's story. OP, I mean, I don't know. I don't
know that there's anything you can do until she comes to terms with it on her own, kind of thing. If you're willing and able to still just be there to support her through it all, I'm sure that would be helpful. But like, I can also understand you hitting a breaking point and being like, can't do that, can't be here anymore. And that's okay too.
My coworker and I had romantic tension, so I finally asked him out.
Hey, you want to go out sometime?
Thomas and I work together. I'm technically above him in the chain of command. I think we've been flirting a lot at work, and he joined a few friends and I for a night out recently. He even overslept, but still came out after midnight just to hang out. We slow danced and had a blast. By the way, this comes from user CMH2548, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers, we only know what we do. So let's know what you do, you pretty person you, in the comments. As OP says, we also definitely broke the touch barrier between me holding onto his arm most of the night, and a few nudges and hugs we shared after he walked me to my apartment. We ended the night by separating from my friends and grabbing wasted food.
Oh, grabbing each other's butts.
And
Grabbing
chatting,
each other's butts and squeezing them, moving them around.
and chatting for hours. Since then, we have been talking about a particular movie, a comedy, and he invited me over to his place for a movie night. Thomas is a friendly guy, so I'm uncertain if he's into me or not. I've been showing him all sorts of tips for our city. He's fairly new, and he keeps saying he's going to keep me forever. What does that mean?
I don't like that. I had somebody tell that to me when I was like in my early 20s, and they said, "Yeah, I like you. I think I'll keep you around." And I immediately was like, haha, never hanging out with you again. That's insane.
If that's, I mean, it could be like a cutesy way, but honestly, I don't think you can find a way of saying, I'm going to keep you forever when you're
Yeah.
not dating. When you're not dating. When you're just like platonic friends as of right now. I need some help figuring it out if I'm walking into a date situation or a friend one. My question is, how can I tell what his intentions are without straight up asking him? We work together, and I do not want to make things awkward for being too forward if he's not into it. And we have an update 1 day later.
Girl, he's obviously into it.
Girl,
Like,
he said, "I want to keep you forever." What the hell are you talking about?
how do I know how do I know? How do I know?
There might as well be like sparkles falling out of his eyes when he looks at you. He said, "I want to keep you forever."
I don't know. The best way is to ask, honestly. Rather make a fool out of yourself or do something weird that you want to, would regret. Just be like, hey, what are your intentions? Like, obviously in a better way than that, but it's better than to just assume.
You say, "Hey, when you say you're going to keep me forever, where are you going to put me? In a box? In a jar? In a damp paper towel? Where am I going to be kept?"
Just be like that, like the dad, where he's like, what are your intentions with my daughter? But instead of my daughter, it's you. What are your intentions with me?
What are your intentions with me, myself, and I?
But I think the tension. We can see the tension through this story.
She was talking about how they were like arm in arm, like and nudging each other, and then like, girl, you're dating without the title.
You did the physical nudging and flirting. I think you're in the clear here. I think you're good. I think you have the green light. You know what that means? Go. We have an update 1 day later. First of all, thank you to everyone that responded to my original post. I tend to be very oblivious to people hitting on me, and seeing Reddit mostly in agreement helped convince myself I wasn't completely crazy. Now on to the important part. Reddit was right. It was a Netflix and chill kind of situation. Thankfully, he messaged me a few hours before we were due to meet up and made it extremely clear that he was indeed interested in me. Good.
He said, "Show me your booty." Show me your butt.
Is that how you did it with your girlfriend?
No, that's how he did it.
Okay. I truly appreciated him making his intentions known, and it set the tone for our night. No awkward, is he going to make a move? To worry about. I'm not going to go into details, but I thoroughly enjoyed our time together, and can't wait to see him again.
I'm not going to go into details.
Guys, holy cannoli. We have an update. 7 years later. It started out with a kiss. How did it end up like
They
this?
touched each other's butts and gave birth to a little butt baby.
We have an update 7 years later. Opie says, almost exactly 7 years ago, I posted asking for Reddit to help me figure out if a guy wanted to sleep with me or was just being friendly. Reddit obviously pointed out he wanted the spicy sleep. It's so funny to read all those comments all these years later. Long story short, we're still together! In an update absolutely no one asked for, here are some quick highlights of life since then. About a month after the update, he moved on to a different job. I did the same about 6 months after him. We did a good job of keeping things professional while working together, but it's much nicer having the separation. We never officially started dating, so we decided to make our anniversary Valentine's Day. 2 birds, 1 stone, and much harder for either of us to forget. The vid happened, and we got locked down together. We actually had a great time being home buddies and just spending a lot of time together. We had already been together about a year at that point. The intention was for it to be a short stay while waiting for his new lease to start, but we enjoyed living together, so he broke that lease to stay with me. I changed jobs a second time, and that required a move to a different state. He was able to find a remote position, and he happily followed me. He proposed a few years ago, shortly after that move. I'm sorry to say no one from Reddit was invited to the wedding, but that's mostly because we eloped.
You eloped.
Neither family was happy about that, but neither of us wanted to spend the money on a big wedding, and I personally hate having a ton of attention on me.
Hell yeah, girl.
This is like Dakota's type of person. Neither of us want kids, so we're just enjoying life until we can retire and move abroad. And by the way, you can retire, you can move abroad, you can do whatever you want, but you can also listen to full episodes with stories just like this by going to your favorite podcast app, such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and searching up OK Storytime. A little bit left here, but you did it. Look at that.
We got there. We did it.
It started with a nudge,
It started with
and now it's ending with fudge.
And now it's been 7 years. It was only a kiss. and
There
now
was a
you're touching my
pandemic
butt.
too, and it was interesting.
Then you touched on my butt, and we had us a baby, and we had him a
They do-
school,
no
and
baby.
we had him a gravy. What?
No baby.
There's no baby?
No baby.
But okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. It's been 7 years. No baby. Fair. Fair enough.
Congrats, OP. Let's just see. It seems like life's going the right way. Let's finish up this story. Life is generally pretty good, minus the general state of the world, but that's mostly out of my control. Life has dealt us our fair share of highs, promotions, achievements, etc., and lows, family and pet loss, health issues, etc. But we're able to really be a team and support each other through it all. Who knew a booty call while watching Man of the House could turn into something like this?
What's Man of the House?
Is that a comedy?
It's a comedy. That's the movie they saw.
But what
Man
is
of
it?
the House. What's funny about that?
Look it up.
Probably all the men. Because it's like, whoa, what are all these men doing in this house? They're the men of the house. Ha! House men, am I right? And then cue the laugh track. Give me $8 million. Call it a day.
As an aside, I did ask him once when he knew he loved me. He said the first time we had spicy sleep.
Gross.
Was it during? Or so someone in the last update called it. Aw, he really, really loves you.
He really, really loves you, and he really, really loves your bazunga. He said, girl, right after I got all up in your bazunga, that's when I knew I was in love with you. Once I did the pa. Man I barely know told me how to parent my child. I lost it.
Maybe figure out your own life, bud.
I, female 27, have a friend, Jen, female 33, who is engaged to Brad, male 26. My friend Jen and I both have 3-year-old daughters, and I also had another baby in the fall. Brad is not the biological father of Jen's daughter. By the way, this comes from user HungryMath5845. Do you want to submit your own stories? Then go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we're going to give good advice goofily about this story right here in my hands. We don't know all the answers to life's problems. If you think you know stuff we don't know, tell us in the comments. Mwah! My child and I went for a visit in the afternoon. The two girls played and had a great time while my friend and I chatted and visited, while I also have a newborn baby. Visit is coming to a close, and Brad shows up at Jen's apartment. They don't live together, and they won't until marriage. We say hi, he plays with the girls for a bit, and then I give my daughter a warning that we're leaving soon. Jen and Brad then begin to encourage the girls to start cleaning up their mess of toys. I want to note it wasn't this insane, crazy mess. It was toys on the floor that were played with. If you have toddlers, you know they make a mess and don't always clean up after themselves. So Jen turns on the TV to a cleanup song on YouTube to encourage the girls to clean. Brad told her to turn it off because they will get distracted.
What? Turn it up. We gotta have some music while we clean.
Dude,
Lock in. Play some Mario Kart.
this guy
music.
has no idea how to Pavlov dog his children. You teach them that the sound of the cleanup song means it's time to clean up. Then they start hearing that song and they're like, program initiated, pick up objects.
They become the Winter Soldier.
I gave my daughter some time to try and clean herself, but she's 3, and I think it's a little silly to expect 3-year-olds to just start cleaning.
I don't think that's true. They're 3. They know how to clean.
Maybe if you never teach your 3-year-old how to clean.
Yeah. I disagree with that. I think that you're limiting your daughter.
So, I go and hold my daughter's hand and really prompt her to tidy up while holding my infant. I also tried to tidy some things up myself, but my daughter just wanted to play. I gave her about 2 to 3 warnings, and the consequences of not tidying would be to put her shoes on and go home. She proceeded to play, so I began to enact the consequence. Brad begins calling the girls to come and clean in another room that he's in. My daughter tries to go to help because he's telling her to. I explain gently that Mama said it's time to go. I need you to listen to Mama. Brad doesn't know I told you it's time to go home. Brad comes into the room that I'm in, and while I'm on the floor helping my toddler get dressed, he comes in and tells me that they have a rule that the girls need to tidy up after they play. He said that their house has rules, and cleaning up is one of them, and the mess needs to be tidied up before we go. This is where I snapped. I told him that I told my child it was time to go, and I will not tolerate him telling me what I need to tell my child to do. He says to me, if you can't follow the rules, then you won't be welcome back. I was floored. I didn't handle this situation well. After this statement was made, I'll admit it. I was so shocked and taken aback. Jen told him not to jump to extremes in the moment, but then proceeded to defend him, as she should, as his fiancé. I explained to them that I gave my child warnings and she wasn't tidying, so I decided the consequence was to go home. Is it the best consequence? I don't know, but it's my consequence. Your consequence for robbing the bank is you get to leave.
I like that OP is actively second-guessing herself as she proceeds with the story. She's like, did I react well? No. Was it the best consequence? Also no, but I did it. And I'm standing by it.
But it's the thing that I said, and since I can't be wrong about anything in front of my kid, I'm gonna die on this hill. I don't believe that telling another person how to parent their child is appropriate. I don't think that's even what he did.
I agree. It's not what he did.
Unless the child is in danger, she says, yeah, I don't think that's what he did at all. I think you're just being a little defensive. This turned into a whole thing, and in the heat of the frustration, I told them they need to post a list of rules for their company so that everyone is on the same page regarding rules and expectations when visiting. Because how was I supposed to know that they had this rule that forced their company to clean? I don't think it's about the company. I think it's about the children learning, I don't know, responsibility. I think he reacted to your initial, incredulous defensiveness by being like, okay, well, I guess if you don't do that, we won't be welcome back.
Yeah. Good morning, Petty Potato says the adults need to have a conversation outside of the situation to make an agreement on who has a right to parent your child. Also, leaving is not really a punishment. Withholding your favorite movie is. Yeah, I think to me, it's a little bit of an everyone sucks situation here. That's my thought.
It is good manners to tidy up your mess when visiting, but it shouldn't be enforced by the man of the house. I will also add that I have always cleaned and tidied in the past when visiting. I was 37 weeks pregnant and cleaning food off the floor after dinner because that's the kind of person I am. And by the way, you can all be the kind of people who listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and find us. I dare ya.
Aunt Shashi says, remember she was also holding a baby trying to juggle kids. Absolutely.
You're taking care of your 3-year-old while you've got an infant in your arms.
Where's Papa?
But also, like, yeah, it really is just yeah.
I don't think it was as big of a difference.
She's okay. Hey,
a
you need
baby.
to clean up more before we can go, okay? We need to be polite. We need to be nice.
Yeah, I don't think it was as big a deal as OP made it into.
Yeah. But to be fair, everything's probably a bit of a bigger deal when you're wrangling a 3-year-old and a toddler.
Very true. They can be very stressful.
Actually, infant, yeah. I told them they should have communicated this rule to me. I told him that next time he needs to take a deep breath and sit on the problem, i.e. the company that didn't tidy, talk with Jen, and if they still feel they have a problem, then to communicate it then. Forgot, what are we, the Ford Motor Company in the 1950s? Do we need a whole committee to figure out just cleaning up after ourselves?
So we've all come together and we've decided that we just really didn't like how you acted that one time. And so we sent it to our local constituents, and they've also considered the issue, and they also didn't really like it. So then we sent it to our representatives, and they were so on it. And so then it went back to the beginning.
You're being unreasonable. But to lash out in the moment was not fostering a welcome environment. Brad backpedaled and started to say, you're welcome anytime. We want to have you here, but we have rules. The damage is done in my eyes. I feel quite hurt. God, Chad, you're the annoying one, bro. You're so.
Yeah.
So am I the a-hole?
Yeah.
I don't even know. A-hole? No a-hole. You know what it is? You're just being difficult, man.
I said no to one snack, and it unraveled something much bigger in our friend group.
Food fight.
After light holiday shopping, 2 friends and I ended the day at my place. Abigail, I'm much closer with. Betty, I met through Abigail and am friendly acquaintances with, but have interacted with many times, just never solo. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to send me your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, the issue comes when Betty sees the chips in my kitchen. They're squid chips and foreign, but they're Lay's. You don't find them in a normal grocery store. When my mom goes to the Chinese/Asian supermarket, she may get specialty chips, but not regularly, since she wants me to be healthy. This one is Chinese. We don't normally go to K or H Mart, I don't know why. My mom dropped 1 bag off of the chips with some other goodies. I would have been happy to share, just not the chips. I offered my pokey or some of the real dried squid. I had a variety. Betty says gross to the dried squid and asked to have the chips again. I offered my spicy and garlic shrimp chips. Didn't want to, but never said that. She doesn't like hot/spicy food, and shrimp sounds gross. It was a single serving bag. I felt baddish, but not enough to say yes. Her arguments were, a good host feeds guests, and she's super into Squid Games. So we could just open the bag and share while we're watching. When she found I haven't watched and had no intention of watching earlier that day, she kept trying to persuade me to. I'm just not that into horror. Interesting concept, and I love it, but I won't watch it. Abigail told me all about her take, too, when it came out. I offered my other chips, original Lay's, Lay's barbecue, etc., and some Cheetos too, but had to say no to the Netflix. She said she wanted the squid chips, and she sees them with the other chips.
This is so weird. It's like your friend comes over and they're like, I want that. And you're like, oh, sorry, like, nah.
I want it now.
That's not what I'm offering. And they're like, no, I want them. Give them to me.
Right. You're weird.
Like, stop throwing a tantrum. She said no.
She said that it was poor manners to have food out if I wasn't willing to share if I had guests over. And it looked like I was a slob for having a cluttered kitchen. That never occurred to me. At home, we always had stuff on the counters. My friends' houses were like this too when I grew up. I was stumped. She said she was ready to leave and over me. My friend called me later that night and explained she had taken Betty to H Mart and they couldn't find them. She said she understood how attached I was to the chips, but next time, let Betty have them and we'll go have fun food shopping afterwards. Monday, we went to the Chinese supermarket and got 3 bags of the squid chips, so my friend dropped them off with Betty yesterday. Betty didn't want them anymore and sent me a text saying she didn't appreciate my behavior then or now.
Oh, Lord, I'm not friends with this girl. You are too much drama.
In private, she told my friend she doesn't want to be around me for a while now. Both my friend and I are stumped now. We can see how I was an a-hole then, but now we're both confused, and that throws a wrench in my friend's Black Friday Friendsgiving plans for our friend group. In the group invite this morning, Betty said she wasn't coming if I was there. So now I feel more guilty, and people are asking what's going on and what did I do. And we have an update.
Lordy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is a bit insane.
Yeah, come on.
I showed Abigail the post. Abigail apologized for making me feel so anxious and that bad. She didn't mean to make me feel like an a-hole. She really was just saying that she could understand why Betty was very upset. Betty is very obsessed with Squid Games too. Abigail's boyfriend privately gave everyone the FYI. So that explains why Catherine's partner decided to surprise me with 5 bags of squid chips in their display fruit bowl with bows. The party was at their new house, not Abigail's smallish apartment. That was basically the consensus of the friend group. I didn't do much wrong. Some acknowledged behavior could be seen as rude and could see Betty's POV, but not enough to say I'm an a-hole that no one wanted to be friends with. It was like cutting someone off in traffic or blocking their way. Well, Betty surprised us with her boyfriend. Not a huge shock. Abigail and Betty's boyfriend had gotten close. Unfortunately, they came earlier in the day and before anyone could hide the chips. Betty's boyfriend laughed because he had brought bags of chips. Everyone knows about my affinity for chips, so he had been certain to get a bag of one of my favorites. Betty was not as amused, and she probably said something when I wasn't around. Most likely, they went out Black Friday shopping. I stayed back to prep for dinner and clean. Betty and I were never close. Most of us are friends because of Abigail. I click with them better than I clicked with Betty. Things were great when Betty wasn't around, but when she got back from shopping, she became more aggressive than passive-aggressive. Like, Abigail's boyfriend had my list of things I wanted if he saw them, and she wasn't impressed that I was using Abigail's boyfriend like my boyfriend. Though it was an arrangement a lot of us have because this Friendsgiving is a tradition. She threw digs at my movie choice to play in the background, how my nails were too long to be sanitary to cook. Fair on some levels, I guess. Things were just tense throughout the night. I found after that she had called me a stuck-up Asian and fake in private.
If she's not Asian, then she's racist. If I had a friend that was white and said that to me about another friend, I would not be that person's friend anymore.
Also called me man-stealing to Abigail and warned her about Abigail's boyfriend being around me, which is why I'm writing this update. I will admit being a bad Asian and hospitality isn't my strongest suit. I'm territorial and I don't like sharing. I feel like that's the American part of Asian American in me. I can see how I might come off as stuck up too. I think she probably meant I was pedantic and too precious about things most people aren't. So interactions will be kept to a minimum, and through group chat she's not part of. I think the group decided to also distance themselves from her.
Good. Yeah. She stinks.
Abigail isn't happy, and very torn about this issue, as do some others who really bonded with Betty.
I don't care. She's talking bad about you for no reason.
I think Abigail is taking it the hardest, and I don't think Betty is happy with the emotional distance she's already created to get her thoughts together in private. Overall, I feel very calm and happy with my hoard of squid chips and the new goodies Abigail's boyfriend was able to grab for me. Edit, most everyone has already seen this post who wants to see it, but I thought I'd add this because I've been getting quite a few comments about how my friends could see Betty's perspective and how they're torn. The only thing that really torn about is they thought they knew her, but they didn't. Frankly, her behavior over the holiday was probably shocking to everyone. It was very shocking to me. Part of me kind of wants to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she's going through some family issues or stress because that's normally what the holiday brings. But they're not torn about agreeing that her behavior was inappropriate and crossed a huge line. And they're not torn about agreeing on the fact that her later comments, spoken in private to some of them, were unacceptable. The thing that they could see from her perspective was just that if I didn't want to share the chips, then maybe I shouldn't have had them out. It might be a cultural thing from where she was raised, and I won't say I haven't heard of it before, but it just never crossed my mind. By the way, it should always cross your mind to listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up Okie Storytime. There's a little bit left.
I just think Betty causes a lot of trauma. It seems like everyone in the friend group is realizing that now.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, though.
Seems like they're all good with her going. I wish Keon was here. He is
He
a
likes good
lover
chips.
of those chips.
Mhm.
He would
Don't
have
touch my
opinions.
You'd probably share his chips, though.
He would always share his chips. And like, do I really think it would have been a big deal if you just wanted to share the chip? Like if she was like, "Can I try those?" and you just opened them for her? No, but like
Her reaction after you said
Right.
no is really weird.
right. The immediate reaction after you said no told me everything I needed to know and told me exactly how right you were to be like, "No.
Yeah.
It was something special for you.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have to share things just because they're on your counter." To me, it's like praying before a meal. I'm not religious, but I know Christians and Catholics might pray before dinner, for example. But when I sit down to dinner, the first thing I do is think about picking up my fork and digging into my hot food. I don't think about praying over it. And I think it's the same way for my chips. Even though I'm having guests over, I don't think about hiding food in my kitchen, even though food is something you often share as a host and give it to your guests. Whereas this is something I guess Betty was taught to think about and do whenever people go over to her house. And so, in that way, they can understand that from her perspective, what I did was really rude behavior because that's how she was raised. But in their opinions, what I did was not overly rude, just spacey, like accidentally blocking someone's path. And that is the end of that story.
My best friend lets her boyfriend listen to all my private calls without telling me.
I think you should break the speaker button.
My 27 female best friend, Lucy, 27 female, and I live in different countries and have had regular long catch-up calls for years. Since she started dating 3 years ago, her boyfriend has become a permanent presence in our calls. At first, it was occasional, which was fine, but now it's the default. Lucy often doesn't tell me he's going to be there, and I'll find out when I join the video call or later that I was on speaker and he was in the room. By the way, this comes from user FitComedian5674, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We're going to yap about this story, but we're not experts here. We only know what we know, so tell us what you know in the comments. And OP says, the first time I met him was without warning. Lucy brought him into a video call when I was in PJs and had just had a big fight with my family. She knew I planned to talk about it during this call. I ended up venting in front of him anyway because I was an emotional wreck. Lucy thought it was a great bonding moment until I told her it wasn't. After that, I asked for separate calls sometimes. She agreed, and while she'll always have a private conversation if I ask, he's around most of the time by default. The private calls are reserved for when we're having a rough time usually, not day-to-day girl stuff. Over the past year, the relationship has been pretty rocky. Almost every call between me and Lucy have been one-on-one because she's crying about their fights, mostly about why he hasn't proposed yet to me. Because of this, my perception of him isn't great. Still, I usually encourage her to talk directly to him about her feelings. She also openly says that she looks for me in her fiancé and gets upset when he doesn't respond like I do, which contributes to their blow-ups. I've told her this isn't healthy, and she also acknowledges it. At one point, her boyfriend told me he felt pressured to propose because he didn't want them to break up. I ended up telling Lucy this because I wanted her to understand the pressure she was putting, which led to a huge argument between us. She became super focused on whether I approved of him and said it was important that he and I have a good relationship. I told her that I love her and support her, but he is not my friend. He is her partner, and that my relationship is with her. She was really upset by this. They got engaged a little after this, and now we're back to the default joint call routine as if nothing has happened. I had to talk with Lucy again and told her that after everything that happened, I'd like to keep my personal stuff separate from him. She was upset again because I was, quote, making her choose between us, or that I, quote, was asking her to keep secrets from him. I don't think that's what I was saying at all. You guys should just both be married to her. Her boyfriend and you need to get married to her, and then that will solve everything.
I mean, that's what she wants. She wants a throuple, but she's just not saying it.
She's acting like talking to you without him is like cheating on him almost.
Yeah,
It's
which
like,
is weird.
I don't want to keep secrets from my man. It's like, it's not, you're on the phone. It's not a secret.
And they're also like OP secrets. Like, why does your man have to know what I'm doing with my life?
Yeah, but
You know?
at the same time, I think there's also an element of like, why do we even care? It's like, this isn't someone we know or see or care about, it seems like. So why does it even matter if he's around? They live together. They're married. He's going to hear about this stuff, whether it's on the phone or when you get off the phone, and then she tells him about it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. Yeah,
so-
'cause that's what you do.
where's the issue really?
I get why some people are like, oh, well, like it's weird. Like they think like, oh, I'm talking to this like random stranger when I just wanted to talk to my friend. But like, I don't know. I tell my business to anyone and everyone. So
I mean,
don't
maybe
care.
maybe just stop having phone calls on speaker. If that's like, it's like he's in the room, maybe put in some headphones. Have a phone call not on speakerphone. Finally, we reached a tentative agreement that we would do our calls without him from now on when we could. But in our most recent call, I realized halfway through that he'd been in the room the whole time again while I was on speakerphone. I feel really upset, but Lucy's reaction and inability to follow through is also really unlike her, so I'm not sure anymore. We've not had issues like this before. Would I be the a-hole if I brought this up again? And there's an update with some info, but it's like, I don't know who's the a-hole, but y'all are both being annoying by not just making the most obvious solution to this, which is stop having speakerphone calls.
Yeah, just literally put it in your headphones or just like go take a walk, and just be like, oh yeah, or literally go in the other room. Like just be like, oh, like my friend's calling me, like I'm going to go take this, But I understand like I think that Lucy feels bad that she like kind of doesn't involve her husband because they probably, since they're like away from each other and they probably don't talk as much, like their catch-up calls are like hours long. So like I understand, like, because that's what I do with my friend from Spain. Like, I mean, we will go back and forth, but then when we actually call, we're on the phone for hours just to like catch up. So like I understand, but it seems like they talk pretty frequently. enough.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like once in a blue moon, because if that was the case, I don't know how this would be a problem again. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
like- but yeah, very, very simple solutions here. Here's the update. Thank you so much to everyone responding. I wasn't expecting so many kind and encouraging messages. Some info based on a few frequent or important questions. Why did Lucy's boyfriend call me? Boyfriend and I don't talk privately. This was a one-time thing that happened because Lucy asked him to include me in planning the proposal. She had asked me about it way before, and I'd said I was happy to help however they wanted. This was when he said that he felt pressured into doing it. Lucy's previous relationships, we haven't had privacy issues when she was dating before, but she hadn't dated anyone for about 4 to 5 years before her current boyfriend. Lucy has a crush on me? No, I don't think so. This might have been poor wording on her part, but I think what she means is that because we've known each other for so long, we're really good at picking up each other's body language and communication styles. We pretty much know what the other is thinking before saying it out loud, but this is something built over 20 years of friendship. She seems to get frustrated that her boyfriend isn't able to respond in the same way. Is boyfriend controlling? This is my fear, but I don't know. I don't think boyfriend is happy with me at the moment because after I told Lucy that he felt pressured to propose, they had a huge fight as well and almost broke up. So he might not like me right now. At first, I thought Lucy just didn't understand that even though I spoke to him politely and engaged in conversation in group calls when he was visibly present, it didn't mean I was comfortable sharing everything. That and the fact that she was able to private calls when asked made me think she just didn't understand how important it was to me. Since they got engaged, I feel like things are a bit different. She starts video calls by saying boyfriend is not in the room or that he has his headphones on or doing something else or something like that, so I feel reassured. To clarify, I never asked her to remove him all the time. I'm fine if he's around sometimes and even joins in. I just want to know if he's there so I can adjust what I share. And by the way, I want to share that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform. Just search OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to podcasts, and listen to us all. A little bit more story left here. Literally, just tell her, hey, no more speakerphone, huh?
Or, I mean, because she says, like, you know, she doesn't mind if he, like, joins, and sometimes it's just, like, when she's talking about, like, private things, probably, like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe, like, health issues
Which
or,
is
like,
fair.
family issues.
Which is fair. But also, just stop. Then just stop having the conversations on speakerphone, and you never have to worry about that again.
That's true. Or just literally go in the other room. And, like, you can't help if, like, you know, if you're in the other room, but then, like, husband is, like, leaning against, you know, the door with his ear. Like, that's not.
Well, that's weird.
That would be weird. But that's, like, not on, you know. her. But-
Default setting, not speakerphone. If you turn on speakerphone, go, hey, Bethany, I just put you on speaker. Done.
That is true.
That is all this takes. As many of you pointed out, you're probably right that she's sharing this info anyway. In the most recent call, we were talking and he responded to something I said. That's how I knew he was there. So now I'm wondering if all the previous times when he was not there, he actually still was. And why I want to bring it up again, Lucy's my closest friend and we've been through a lot of things together. I hope that by bringing it up, she might understand my point of view. I was also worried that maybe her boyfriend is controlling, like some of you were saying. I hope that by asking her, maybe she would have the chance to confide in me if this was the case. That's the end of that story. My friend lied to the whole group just to make me uncomfortable around my best friend.
Some friend.
I need to start off by saying that I, 19 male, have mild autism and I was homeschooled. I have trouble navigating social situations, though I think I've gotten better since coming to college, which makes me think I might be in the wrong here. By the way, this comes from user Just a Throwaway 157. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Vincent.
And we're here to give good advice, goofily. Or maybe not. Maybe we're just going to make jokes and yap. Who's to say? You'll have to watch the video to find out. And then you can leave us comments below to let us know what you think. OP says, since coming to college, I got a group of friends and it's been fun, except they insist that I'm in love with our new friend, Mark, 20 male. He joined our group about a month ago. Me and Mark have a lot of things in common, so we bonded quickly. Because of that, our other friends said that we are in love and made for each other. It was a good laugh until they kept repeating it. They kept making claims that made it sound like I had feelings for him, and it got super weird. For instance, one day we were hanging out in Mark's dorm, and I left when an emergency came up. In my rush, I left my charger. It got returned to me, but the others claimed I left it on purpose so I could leave a piece of me with him. Another time, I was eating spaghetti, and some of them said I was practicing to eat Mark's butt. Comments like this occur about 6 or 7 times a day. I have no idea where it's coming from. I am not even attracted to guys. A week ago, I asked Mark if he was as uncomfortable with this as I am. He didn't know they said those things because they never said it to him. It's only been to me. I don't know why. I sent a message to our group chat. Guys, the comments you make about me and Mark are really making me uncomfortable, especially since I found out they've only been directed at me. Please stop. I don't find them funny or amusing. They apologized and said they wouldn't do it again. Friday, 6 of us, excluding Mark, went to dinner together. While we were waiting to order, Jada, 19 female, asked if I wanted to date Mark. I told her no, and to drop that since it makes me uncomfortable. She asked why I was so uncomfortable if it's not true. I told her that's exactly why. It's not true, but they keep talking like it is. She said it is true, and she knows it's true. I could feel myself getting angry and didn't want to melt down, so I just left. I walked out and drove back to my dorm. I texted the group chat that I did not wish to be around Jada given what happened. Jada got mad and said I was letting a guy ruin our friendship, and I didn't know how to take a joke. I've ignored her messages and calls. All of our friends side with me, but a few of them said it was putting them in an awkward position and I should let it go. I already stated that I'm not the best with social interactions, so I'm thinking maybe I am the a-hole. And there's an update. I wouldn't say you're necessarily being an a-hole. You're just not computing what's being, thrown at you, I think, in the proper lens. Because I think if these people were, like, really trying to, like, get at you and they were trying to be genuinely mean and cruel to you and hurt your feelings and hurt you, I think you'd be able to tell. But,
Yeah,
you
and with what you said about, like, most of your friends are, like, kind of on your side, like, okay, yeah, we'll stop. But it sounds like it stopped from most everybody. Then one person brought it up again. And maybe was Jada in on, like, okay, these jokes aren't funny anymore?
maybe not. Maybe she
Yeah.
wasn't in the group chat, Who
Mhm.
knows? But I will say that, like, it does, I can see myself making that same line of questioning where it's like, do you like Mark, actually? No, I don't. Why does it make you so uncomfortable, though, if you don't like Mark? That's why I'm uncomfortable, is because I don't like him. Yeah, okay, whatever you say.
Especially if you're in, like, a group setting where you're joshing around over dinner,
Yeah.
You're having a good time. I can
Yeah.
definitely see how that would go there, but I don't think this is a blow up a friendship or quit a friendship worthy offense.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. And like, I know only a few people said it to you, but anyone who's also friends with that person, yeah, they're also thinking the exact same thing of, ooh, this makes it weird.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a weird spot I'm in. Anyway, first thing I did was talk to Mark. He assured me that my behavior never seemed flirtatious or inappropriate. I told him that I'm gonna cut that I'm gonna cut off the rest of them. He told me he would do the same, but I told him not to. I appreciate the support, but I'm the one having the issue. I didn't speak to anyone from that group except for Mark for a couple weeks. I've been meeting new people, and it's going fine. Then a few days later, someone came by my room and wanted to talk to me. To my surprise, it was actually 4 people, Chris, Emma, Ty, and Micah, who I wasn't as close with as the others. We started talking, and the first thing they did was apologize for the situation and for making me uncomfortable. I asked them one of my biggest things I was curious about: why were the comments directed only at me? And here's what I learned. Jada told them she talked to me, and they could make comments to me, and I would be okay with it, but said she talked to Mark, and he said he would be uncomfortable. I didn't believe this until they showed me the messages. I never told Jada this, and I doubt she talked to Mark, so she lied. And that's when it started. I was still confused on why she would make them in the first place. Ty, Micah, and Chris didn't know, but Emma showed me her messages with Jada. To the person who asked if Jada has a crush on Mark, you are incorrect. Jada has a crush on me. For the past 4 months, even though I'm not the best socially, once I saw the messages, I'm pretty sure she was jealous of Mark and was trying to make me uncomfortable around him. The other 3 saw the messages and thought the same thing. So she was jealous. Nobody aside from Emma knew this, though. They just joined in because they thought it would be funny. I asked, why is me being uncomfortable a joke or funny? And they didn't have a response. I told them what a lot of people told me in the replies, how it was bullying and maybe a little homophobic to make such remarks, and disguising them as jokes is just an excuse.
What are your thoughts? Do you have a thought here?
I disagree.
You
I don't
disagree.
think that's necessarily veiled homophobia.
I
I think that's taking it maybe a bit of a step too far, seeing as everyone is friends with everyone.
Yeah, this feels like there's a lot of over analyzing happening when, if you just use the Occam's razors, like the most simplest answer is probably the answer. She probably liked you, and she felt that, like, bullying you would at least get your attention on her, which kind of worked.
It did kind of work, and then you immediately, and then she made you leave that restaurant.
Sure.
And then she was probably really kicking herself over that.
She's like, wait, don't go.
Master plan is falling apart.
This has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah. I don't think, like me and Keon are always like, yeah, it's your boyfriend or whatever, and we're just like, yeah. And that's neither gay nor anti-gay. It's just goofing around, man.
Yeah.
I acknowledged that I should have said something sooner, but it also should have never gotten to that point. They again apologized and asked if I could forgive them. Truthfully, I have already gotten past the situation and moved on. Ultimately, I did decide to give these 4 a second chance. The fact they came to talk, apologize, explain, and weren't on the defensive or dismissive when I was explaining how I felt or what made them wrong, I think that's a good sign. It will take a bit longer to fully regain my trust, but I haven't had any issues since then. And there is an edit. I talked to my parents about the situation, and they were confused on some things, so I thought maybe I should clarify here as well. When I said a few weeks, I meant about 18 or 19 days, which is still a long time, but it wasn't almost a month later. Maybe I should have specified that in the update. There's a few reasons it took them some time, though. I was actively avoiding the group. My dad said the 4 of them probably didn't notice at first. Like I said, I wasn't as close with them as the others, and counting me and Mark, the group had 16 people. My dad said it probably took them a while to realize I wasn't hanging around them at all. I started summer school, and that has taken up most of my time and focus. It's also why this update is late when it occurred like a week ago. And I forgot about it. But by the way, you will never forget that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms, because I won't let you forget. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts and search OK Storytime and listen to all of our episodes now. So, let's finish this story. I need to see how it ends.
Let's do it.
Some of you guys said to be wary of Emma. My mom actually advised the same thing. Like I said, they are slowly building my trust back, but it takes time. It will take more time with her. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who gave their input on the situation. I was honestly really close to blowing up several times, but like I said, I'm trying to manage my blow-ups better. I try to follow the example my grandfather set. My parents and some people who messaged me asked if I forgave too easily. I honestly don't know, but I believe in second chances. And that is the end of that story.
My roommates eavesdropped on my therapy sessions and used it against me.
Quit listening to me.
I, 19 female, live with 3 other girls, 19 to 20, in an apartment on campus. Since it is an apartment on campus, it is a 2-bedroom with 4 people, so everyone shares a room. I share a room with B, while Cadence and Delilah share a room. Between me and Delilah, we furnished the whole apartment. By the way, this comes from Throwaway 1918, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Vincent.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily and yap a little here, yap a little there, but we don't have all the answers, but we would love to know what your little yappy things would do in this situation. As Opie says, I want to acknowledge that I am the mean roommate. I call everyone out on money, food, and cleaning. I am a full-time college student, and I work 40 hours a week on top of that. But I am also the one that does the most chores. Since I am the only one with a job, my roommates expect me to buy everything for the place, toilet paper, garbage bags, etc., and they get mad that I ask them to pay me their share of. I really enjoy cooking, and it is a huge stress relief for me. Same girl. For the first month of the semester, we did group groceries and group meals. It was cheaper, and we would be getting better meals. I figured out we could get 2 weeks worth of meals for around $30 to $40 each every 2 weeks. I make the grocery list and cook the meals. After about a month, B and Cadence said they do not want to do group groceries anymore because it is too expensive. I now cook meals for me and Delilah. We shop together and split the cost 50-50. B and Cadence expect me to make them food even though I am only cooking for me and Delilah. I told them they did not pay for food, so I am not making them any. So now they go out to eat and get takeout every night, then complain they do not have any money. B has a boyfriend who comes over and spends the night too. I share a room with B, and I have asked her to let me know before he comes over. She did for a month, but now she tells no one. He comes over and takes naps in her bed when she is not in the room, and I am trying to do homework. I have asked not to have him spend the night if I am intoxicated due to trauma. I woke up after drinking, and he was in the room asleep without her, so I did not fall back asleep and was not happy. He comes over all the time now, and she does not let us know. I will jump in the shower in the morning, and when I walk back to my room in just a towel, he will be sitting on her bed while I try to get dressed. I am in therapy, and because of the pandemic, it is virtual, so I do it from my own room. I cannot help it if there are people home, but I recently figured out that they have been listening to my therapy sessions. That's crazy. I will talk about things in that session that I do not talk about with anyone else, and somehow Cadence and B will bring it up later that night if it is something about the apartment and them. When I move out, they will have absolutely nothing in the apartment. No pots or pans, no couch, no coffee table, no TV stand, no decorations, etc. I already canceled my housing contract for next semester, or it is not going to be worth $2,000 for me. So I left for 2 weeks, packed up most of my stuff, and left with it. And I only told Delilah that I was leaving for 2 weeks. B and Cadence have no idea where I am or where most of my stuff is, and honestly, I am fine with it. Am I the a-hole? And there is an edit. I mean, just because you are like mad at them and they've been like doing, probably crappy things, I feel like you could mention, hey, by the way, I'm not gonna be here. I didn't sign the next semester's contract, and I'm gonna be out. So, and I'm taking all my stuff with me.
Yeah, I definitely I think that's the right move as far as like anything that's on paper as like, oh, you guys are sharing a lease together. That stuff you want to give them forewarning on because that could like potentially affect bigger things down the line. I feel like is there a way, what have you done to communicate some of this stuff that if you would have communicated it earlier, maybe would have not as been big of a problem? Yeah, it sounds like your roommates aren't the best roommates, but I feel like everyone in college kind of has roommate horror stories. And also, like, college is a big time when you're exploring who you are. And having all of that tumult and then everyone going through that, but also being roommates. I think you're definitely doing a lot of good stuff, like the budgeting, all of that, with like you're being the responsible one. They're going to feel that when they're gone, and they're going to have a learning moment when you're not there to do that for them. So you can be proud of that for yourself, but also draw a line with your roommate with bringing their boyfriend and just
Well,
like
she won't
letting
have
them.
to worry about it anymore because she's out.
Yeah, get out of there, man.
I have told Delilah that I am not coming back for the second semester. Everything that she paid for or bought is hers. I am leaving her stuff alone, and that includes some of the stuff that we split the cost on. B and Cadence have since decided to give me the silent treatment and have not talked to me for a week. I have my big furniture pieces and everything in the kitchen left there for me to grab over Thanksgiving break when no one is there. Otherwise, I have nothing else still there. I have talked to Delilah about moving out and getting a place with me, and she is not interested in moving into a house this year since she is from out of state. The apartment is through college housing. There is no rent to worry about for them to pay. A new random person will be placed into the apartment. The cost of living for them will not change. Oh, verdict. You are the a-hole. There is an update. I have successfully moved out of the college apartment, and I moved back in with my parents while I finish out this semester before getting into a house. My ex-roommates, B and Cadence, have basically cut all contact with me. Me, B, Cadence, and Delilah tried to set up a time to talk about everything, but B and Cadence showed no interest and refused. I even went back to the apartment to help Delilah with stuff because me and her are remaining friends. She understands why I am leaving and is not holding a grudge against me. When I went back, B and Cadence locked themselves into the room that Cadence and I used to share. They were talking loudly on purpose so that I could hear them. B said we should go talk to her, I feel bad. And Cadence said, I do not really care. She is a witch for taking everything. The two laughed and stayed in the locked room until I left and said nothing to me the whole time.
Wait. So they locked themselves in her room?
It says
In the room that used to be hers. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
locked themselves into the room that Cadence and I used to share.
But Cadence is in there?
Yeah, but she shares a room with Delilah, so I don't know why she said that. I'm not really sure.
They might have like changed room assignments or something. Anyway, not super not super important.
Yeah. What is super important is that they like left you, said nothing, and then we're just like, oh well, whatever. And like, I don't know, if that's how they want to leave, that's how they want to leave it. At least you were the one reaching out. I think you're less of an a-hole now that you are reaching out and trying to like, make amends and whatnot and being like, listen, this is my stuff, so I'm taking it. Like, I don't understand if that's the issue of me taking my stuff, then you have no reason to be mad. Go buy your own stuff,
Yeah.
I took everything of mine, leaving them with the university supplied furniture. No more nice furniture, nothing to cook with, no decorations, nothing in the bathroom, etc. I moved everything out when everyone was gone for the weekend. In moving out, I have not been able to find a few of my belongings, and in the end, the total amount for how much I am missing is about $40. Delilah has no idea where it is or how it went missing. B and Cadence have completely cut off contact with me, blocked me on social media, and left our group chats. From Delilah, I found out that B and Cadence will be moving out as well and into a dorm with just the two of them. Cadence moved into the room with B for the time being, so now Delilah has her own room. By the way, you'll always have room to come over and listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There is a little bit left of this. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I mean, you're in college. Your freshman year of college, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You don't need to see these people again.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cross paths with people. They're there for a short season of your life, and you never have to see them again. I think you've learned some very valuable stuff about yourself. It sounds like you're very organized. I think that's very good. And I look forward to you being able to have your own space, where with people who are like-minded and not as freeloady as your ex-roommates are.
Yeah, there's always going to be some horror stories on, horrible ex-roommates or whatever. Everyone has a story about roommates.
Yeah. Congratulations, you got yours.
Yeah, you got yours, and guess what? If these people want to be petty, let them be petty. You got out of there, and you're going to thrive because you actually know how to take care of yourself and, make things look nice and pretty and organized. So they can sit there and be like, oh, I have no money. Let's order takeout. And they can do that the rest of their lives and be lazy and dumb.
Oh.
B still has not seemed to grasp the concept that she is the reason I am leaving more than anything. She is still bringing her boyfriend over almost every day and is not asking. She is telling Delilah instead of asking. That's crazy. Delilah has told her no, he cannot come over a few times, and she still tries to sneak him in. This ends in Delilah yelling at her and then fighting, resulting in B locking herself in the room to pout. Delilah wants to get the RAs involved, and I keep telling her to, but she has not yet. Me, Cadence, and Delilah were part of a friend group of 6 from freshman year. I talked to them and leaned on them for support, and they all agree that Cadence and B are way out of line. They formally kicked Cadence out of the group, and she has been removed from the group chats along with other social media. I definitely feel that is my fault, but I do not feel bad about it. Cadence showed her true colors and made her own fate. Oh, there's an edit. My ex-roommates are not financially responsible for any type of rent since it is a contract with our college. The cost is paid in tuition. And that's the end.
My married friend sent me dirty pictures, then told her husband it was my idea. Ooh, you dirty, dirty lady. I, 45 male, have been in a group of friends, husbands, wives, kids for almost 20 years. We started out as a neighborhood group and have grown bigger as our friendships have evolved, and most of us have moved out of the original subdivision. We are adults 40 to 50 years old. By the way, this comes from Brief Administration 9. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, the men play golf most every weekend and one evening during the week. Holidays and birthdays are big get-togethers with sometimes 50 people. I am currently the only unmarried person in the group. Divorced in 2011. This is the sticky part. About 7 to 8 months ago, one of the women in the group named Cindy started coming on to me. Well flattered, I would never do anything as I like her husband Mike and have known her kids since they were in preschool. It seemed like a little harmless flirting at first. It ain't harmless if it's flirting. Flirting's not harmless. Stop it. Knock it off. But then it moved into some very direct propositioning. She had her reasons for wanting to become spicy, sleepily involved, and put a mild bit of pressure on me to begin an affair with her. One of the ways she pressured me was to text me racy pics, and those soon moved to X-rated pics and videos. It really put me in an awkward spot, and I told her that. My response was that I found her attractive, but she was strictly off limits to me since she was married. Even if I didn't know her husband, I still would not have done anything and I didn't. A few months ago, I found out that I had missed a few golf days, and I just chalked it up to bad timing. Well, there was a huge 4th get-together, and I asked around about it, and it seemed no one would own up to me not being invited. Apparently, there have been other events that I didn't know about, and I wasn't invited there either. I finally got some answers last night when I ran into a friend and her daughter at the grocery store. She would barely look at me when I spoke to her, and her teenage daughter spilled the beans. Cindy was caught with the racy pics on her phone and confessed to Mike that I had put her up to it and was pressuring her to have an affair. Needless to say, I was stunned at this revelation. I thanked her for honesty and went home and thought about it for a long time. I have saved every single text and pic. Last night, I printed them all out. If I showed Mike 10% of what she said to me and what she sent to me, he might leave her. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why have we not done that? I'm kind of shocked at this. Meanwhile, I am pushed out of my friend group for doing what I thought was right. I mean, I think you let it go on for too long. Like, yes, she is in the wrong, but I think that you could have said, this is inappropriate, blocked. You know, like, I feel like there was a way where we could have put a stop.
Yeah.
I told her at the beginning that this was heading down a road of hurt, but when she got to the painful part, she pushed me under the bus. Would I be the a-hole here? For what?
For what?
I don't know.
For
For
being honest and telling the truth.
Tell
yeah,
me
I
the
don't really know
truth.
what you would be the a-hole.
Literally tell the
Yeah, I
truth.
guess, yeah.
Because you're ruining someone's vibe of trying to cheat.
Yeah, Naja Commander says he let it happen for months. He's just as guilty. Yeah. Like, at the point where she starts sending you spicy stuff and you're not blocking her, you're kind of, like, involved there.
Yeah, you're like opening it. It's like getting the
yeah.
mail. You're like opening it, and you're like, okay.
But you know what else is cool? Listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There's an update, folks. I reached out to Mike, and he texted me that he never wants to see or talk to me ever again. Some of you have suggested that I reach out to a leader in the group, and I have done that. I will be meeting with another couple tonight. She is a gossip, so anything I show her or tell her will be public knowledge 2 hours after I leave their house. You get what you get. And we got a second update, folks. It turns out that the whole group knew nothing. Just a few. Mike and Cindy filed for divorce in January due to his infidelities and tried to keep it private. Oh, from my end, everything is good. It turns out that both of them are the a-holes. Well, sure. I don't know. This was,
Sounds,
yeah.
Kind of sounds like a little swing-up group.
Lesson for you, OP. Should have cut that off earlier.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my advice there. My best friend copies everything I do, so I told her to stop leeching off me.
Quit leeching, you leech.
Hi, my 25 female long-term friend, 25 female, has a history of doing whatever it is that I'm interested at the moment. She asks questions until she's got a clear idea of what music, books, movies I'm into, and then does a whole act of how she discovered that in front of the whole friend group.
Oh.
Being the pushover that I am, I'm sad to say I've let her do this for some time while slowly trying to put some distance between us. By the way, this comes from Ill Secretary 205. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Savannah.
I'm Keon.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And it'll be sent. This also extends to people any new friend or even acquaintance I make should be cleared with her. Then she makes a friend move on them to get closer to them. She's even tried to weasel her way into my family gatherings and private events. She also, for some reason, keeps telling my dad that she's like the daughter he would have wanted. He's as confused as I am, but we learn to laugh it off. I've recently noticed that she is rarely interested in something of her own volition. All her leads are from me. I have been getting tired of her behavior for a while. Things came to a head a few months ago when she started texting a guy, 27 male, I've been speaking to for a while, went on a few dates, nothing serious as of now, but I'm hoping there would be, and telling him how compatible they could be. He was confused and thought it was me texting from her phone, so he double-checked with me. I, of course, was beyond angry, but instead of confronting her immediately, I told him to ask her why she's doing this and if she was aware that him and I were almost a thing. Her response to him was to flirt even further and say that her and I always had similar taste, but went on to mention how he might be better off with her. He sent me the screenshots and I sent them to her and said, "You need to leave me alone. Things in my life are not for grabs. You have leeched off me for too long. If you keep this up, I won't have an issue shaming you in our friend group. Do it now. Do it now." Why wait? She got very standoffish and accused me of tricking her by using the guy's phone to make her look bad. She also proceeded to speak badly of me to our friend group. I might be the a-hole because all this, while other than trying to keep some distance between us, I did not properly voice my concerns. That's not the a-hole. It just means that you need to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
She did, however, notice my discomfort at various occasions, especially my family gatherings. So am I the a-hole for handling things this way? And there is an update, folks. But you're not an a-hole to her or your friends, but you aren't a self a-hole.
You are
Stand up.
your own a-hole.
You're your biggest a-hole.
You're your biggest a-hole.
Yeah, I think you need to stand up for yourself and say, "Hey, you're being weird. Stop it. Get out of my life." Update. So after posting, I rang up one of my close friends to let her know what's been happening. She seemed appalled at how my friend made a move on the guy I was seeing. She also confided in me that she often keeps telling her how good and well my life is, and how she wishes either her family was like mine or her job was like mine, etc. She thought it was just harmless wishing, but when everything was put together, it just seemed so unhinged. I also spoke to my dad and mom about how unnerving it was to have her try and do all the things I do when they told me that once, a few years back, while I was completing a work experience training in another city, she offered to come and stay at my house to keep them company. What? Wait, I'm sorry, so you were in another city training or whatever, and your friend messages your parents and says, "Hey, I know your daughter's away, so I could be like your new daughter. Have we thought about me being your new daughter? Just like for temporary? Kind of a temp daughter?"
Oh, no.
Creepy. They honestly thought she was joking because she lives in the same city with her family, and my training was only for 6 months. So, with this new information, I decided it was well and truly the time to cut all contact with her. Good thinking. I have let my friends know that she is no longer a part of my life and to warn me about plans we were both part of, and most of them seem to see this coming. I've also decided to stop being around her other close friends. My friends have also told me that they'd keep her from knowing anything about me and my life updates. I was the one who brought her into this specific friend circle. A few of them already did not get along with her, so they were cool with not hanging out with her. By the way, I'm cool with you guys listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any thoughts? Any final thoughts?
This girl is just very insecure, and she is trying to just, take over your lifestyle because she sees all the, fun and, positive energy that's coming towards you. So, yeah, I would say I really think that this girl just needs help. She just needs to go to therapy. She needs to find her own thing.
After not texting her back for a while, she texted me to say, "Are you seriously gonna let this one guy take away our years of friendship?" Something along the lines of that. And I just said, "Yes." She's kept texting and calling constantly and eventually sent a message saying, "I hope you and the guy don't work out," and then blocked me. Well, that worked out for you.
Yeah.
Hurrah! I had refrained from blocking her because I did not want to aggravate her or have her show up at my house. But after she blocked me, I blocked her. Shows you on all social media. And told my parents what happened. So anyway, I feel better not having her hovering around my life, but I'm sure she's going to try and initiate contact sometime. But this time, I've decided to stand up for myself. Woo!
As
You're
you
not
should.
a self-a-hole
It feels
anymore.
good. It feels good to stand up for yourself, doesn't it? My mom always says, take it as a compliment. They don't mean, anything by it. It should be a compliment because people want to, be you. They want to act like you, whatever.
However,
And
it doesn't mean that you need to keep them in your life.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that
Yeah.
they have to be your best friend or, end up being future stalker or something. As long as it's not life-threatening or
Yes.
harmful to anyone.
Yeah.
I think yeah, okay, cool.
I lost my place at my best friend's wedding until her fiance did something.
Now you're the best man.
I, 28 female, am entangled in a wedding drama of epic proportions. My recently engaged best friend, 29 female, asked me to be her maid of honor. And words can't describe how happy I was. We've been inseparable since kindergarten, and I was ready to make her big day unforgettable. By the way, this comes from user Maid of Honor Throwaway 1, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon,
I'm Carly.
and we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers, we only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments. As Opie says, I spent nearly $700 on her bachelorette party, buying cute outfits for everyone and renting a party bus with all-you-can-drink drinks. The other girls pitched in, but I'm the most financially stable, so the majority fell on me. I helped plan the wedding of her dreams, right down to contacting the vendors and setting dates when she was too busy. I made the save the date and invitation cards. What I'm trying to say is that I did a lot for her. And then, 2 weeks before the wedding, my best friend asked me to step down
Jeez.
and said that her future sister-in-law would be taking the role of maid of honor. I was pissed, and we got into a huge argument over this where I admittedly said things I wasn't proud of. Since then, I received texts from our friends, best friend's family, their groom's family, and even sister-in-law telling me that I'm a drama queen who needs to get over herself and that it isn't about me. This has really gotten to me, and I need to know, was I in the wrong? And we have an edit 2, but before we enter that edit 2,
Hey.
what do you think?
I mean, that's crazy. Yep, that hurts.
If there wasn't, it's very weird. Yeah, you did all those things, and then the swap up. I would ask, why a sudden swap? Why didn't you ask me first can you swap, rather than telling me I did all these things for you and it seems like you're ungrateful? I would be pretty upset. But to the point of, again, it's her wedding, her rules, but that's really crappy to do it 2 weeks before the wedding.
I'm wondering if it was a family thing, maybe. That was what do you mean your new sister-in-law is not going to be your maid of honor? How dare you?
Or the sister-in-law was I want to be the maid of honor. I want to be the maid of honor.
Right.
We don't know yet. We'll probably
I'm
find
wondering
out.
where the pushback came from, or if it truly was just her decision kind of thing. But you'd
Yeah.
think that would have been just resolved in the conversation then. But
Do you think OP was in the wrong or the right by blowing up the way she did? Or
I can't really speak for that. It's one of those things where it's that's gonna be hurtful, and sometimes it's just hard to control your emotions.
in the heat of the heat of the moment? Yeah.
Do I think it was a productive thing to do? Probably not, but
No.
I guess good on you to voice that it's upsetting you.
This did kind of happen to me, where I was still the best man.
You got removed as the maid of honor.
No, I was the best man, but they also wanted me as the ring bearer until the very last day. They're could the fiance's brother be the ring bearer or the ring holder? And I said, yeah, that's totally fine. I am not offended at all. And he even checked with me, everyone checked with is it okay? And I was like, yeah, guys, I'm not offended. I wasn't gonna lose it, but if you guys think it's more sentimental than to have him hold it and give it the ring, I think it's totally cool. So no, I was no offense there, but this is very weird. I hope we get the answer and reason why. Edit 2. I'm going to wait a week to let emotions cool and then try and have a sit down with my friend to talk about this. Edit 3. Small update and to answer some questions. I asked for $200 of the money back because $500 was a repayment from when she paid my rent in college for a month. I hadn't paid her back sooner because she requested I use it for her bachelorette. She's been dating her fiancé for 8 years and we're waiting to be more financially stable before getting married. And we have an update. We're going to go straight into it. I called her this morning and asked to talk. She agreed, and we set up a meeting on Thursday at a local coffee shop. I'm a bit concerned because she sounded really shy and nervous on the phone. Hopefully that goes well and I can do an official update with happy news. Thank you so much for your advice and comments. Update 2. Go right into it. I met my friend around 9 a.m. yesterday at a local coffee shop. She looked really bad. Her hair was super greasy and unkempt. She had really bad eye bags, and she seemed totally exhausted. I wonder why, because you weren't helping. Remember, everything was under, like, you were controlling everything. You were the brick and mortar holding everything up. When I asked her what was wrong, she just apologized. I kept prodding, and it turns out that her in-laws are real pieces of work.
Called it.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, they've been pestering her for nearly 3 years about having sister-in-law as the maid of honor.
Called it.
You did. Carly called it. About 3 years having sister-in-law as the maid of honor at the wedding, and when my friend chose me, they went ballistic. My friend said she thought she'd be able to handle it until the wedding day, but then mother-in-law threatened to ruin her wedding unless sister-in-law was the maid of honor. My friend panicked, and that's when she told me I would no longer be her maid of honor. She apologized for the money-hungry comment and said that she was just in such an awful place mentally that hearing me mention the money made her really upset. The reason all of her friends were attacking me is because they knew about the mother-in-law situation, as my friend never mentioned it to me because she didn't want me to step down because of the mother-in-law, and they thought I also knew the whole story. And as for the fiancé, he was completely in the dark. He doesn't have a good relationship with his mother already, and my friend didn't want to be what destroyed that relationship. When my friend told me all this, I felt awful. I didn't know she was enduring 3 years of intimidation because of me. I immediately apologized, and she apologized, and we both cried a lot. When the tears stopped, she pulled out an envelope with $200 and gave it to me. I originally refused, but she insisted, so I took it. I encouraged her to tell her fiancé because keeping this from him wasn't helping anyone, and if he decided to cut off mother-in-law, then that was his decision, not hers. And, by the way, it's your decision to listen to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast app, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio, and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left here. You called it, Carly.
I called it. Yeah. Because that's weird because, like, you guys didn't have, like, any strange falling out or anything.
And there was
so
no
it just,
reason.
Right. So it just seemed really random. So I was like, it's gotta be some family pressure. And
100%.
for a sister-in-law, like, not even another best friend and
Yeah.
not even another, like...
100%. But it also sucks because everyone else, well, not everyone else, all the other bridesmaids knew about this.
Yeah.
But then they just assumed you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crappy. The sister-in-law sucks. The mother-in-law sucks. They should know, like, it's her wedding day. Who were you guys to demand who and what should be in place for, her wedding? I think Opie's friend should 100% tell her fiance and be like, this is what's happening. Also, my question is, how is the mother-in-law going to ruin the wedding?
Yeah. I'm wondering if it was, like, a financial thing. Like,
Maybe.
Oh, we'll pull the funding. Oh, I'll cancel this. Or something that's, like, too soon to rebook or something.
Right. That sucks. That really does suck. What a monster-in-law.
Funny.
Hopefully, it gets resolved. Let's finish up the story. After talking a lot more about future boundaries, our friendship, and the wedding, I decided I would go to the wedding and we'd still be friends. I know my friend didn't handle this in the best way, but I've known her for over 2 decades, and she's practically my platonic soulmate. That's not something you should throw away because of this. Originally, that was how my update ended, but as I was typing this, I received a text from my friend saying that fiancé disinvited his mom and practically half the family, including sister-in-law, because of their treatment of my friend and me. She asked if I would be willing to be the maid of honor again, and I said yes, again.
Huzzah.
I just want to give a final thank you to Reddit for helping me through this, and I hope all of you have a nice night. And that is the end of that story. Great. Way to get rid of the toxic people and just have a wedding to yourselves and enjoy the moment and as it should have been in the first place.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
I called my best friend for support, but she ended up being a problem.
You were supposed to support me.
Yesterday, my boyfriend of 7 years, his daughter, Alice, 12 female, got her hair done. She came home 5 hours later hysterically crying about her hair.
Oh.
It was not what she wanted at all.
I've been there. freaking been there, man.
My older sister just got her hair
Ugh.
balayaged yesterday, and she took a picture, and she said, I've never cried about my
The
hair.
times I
I was
have
like-
cried about my haircuts.
I've never cried about my hair.
I have had many, or not many, but I've had a couple haircuts where I remember like last 2 years ago, maybe, I got my bangs cut in a certain way, and it's just like they were not at all what I wanted, and it took so long to grow them to how I wanted them.
Oh.
Yeah, I did cry about that.
Yeah, I've never cried about my hair. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I think it's just like when I can't maintain it in the way that I like, because this hair is very easy to maintain. I can
Yeah.
just let it dry naturally.
That's
But,
what
like,
I did.
Yeah, with the bangs that I had before, it was like
Yeah.
so annoying.
Oh no, I've been getting used to like the short bangs now
They're cute.
because mine were like, yeah. I've been pushing them down though because I'm so used to having them like here. But,
You
like,
gotta
they-
pick a side.
I know.
When they're down there, you're like, they're too long.
By the way, this comes from Wounded Willow. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Savannah.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily. But we do not have all of the answers. Or maybe we do. But we probably don't. So let us know what you would do in the comments because we're going to tell you what we would do right now.
Sure are.
As OP says, when she came home, I, 28 female, heard her crying and went in the kitchen to try and comfort her, knowing that there is not much I can say to help because in her mind this is the end of the world, which I understand. Yeah. I gave her a hug and told her that it looked good, but that I know that that's not what she wanted and is extremely disappointed. She told me she was going to her room and was still crying, so I figured I should give her some space and that her dad and I would figure it out later. In the meantime, I FaceTimed my best friend, 30 female, of 10 years. Let's call her Bianca. Why do people always choose that name? I think that's a common name that people are like, let's
People
call her
always-
Bianca.
Yeah, people are always choosing similar names.
Yeah. And was like, we have a teenager crisis. Let me preface by saying Bianca is a mom to an almost 13-year-old girl and has 2 other kids with 1 on the way. Wow. I myself am not a mom. I've been around Alice since she was 6, but she has a mom, and coming from a divorced family where there was bitterness between my mom and stepmom, I try very hard not to overstep Alice's mom as just being Alice's dad's girlfriend. Anyways, we're on the phone, and Bianca keeps telling me to walk in Alice's room while I'm on FaceTime with Bianca and show Bianca Alice's hair. I told Bianca, no, I'm not doing that. Alice is upset and overwhelmed, and I thought Alice was on the phone with her mom anyways, so I'm not just going to walk in there. Alice told me she was going to her room, and like I said previously, was hysterical, and I told Bianca this. Bianca kept literally demanding that I go into Alice's room. I kept telling Bianca I'm not going in there and that Alice needs time to herself to cry it out, and that I definitely wasn't going in there with Bianca on FaceTime to show Bianca the hair situation. Yeah, I agree with you, OP.
Yes.
Bianca became increasingly agitated and kept saying, you're not a mom, you're not a mom, you're not a mom. To which I told her, you're right, I'm not a mom.
What is going on? I'm hanging up on this girl.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bianca.
I told Bianca I wanted to respect Alice's need for space and that she's overwhelmed. Again, Bianca starts with the you're not a mom. And at this point, it's hurting my feelings and almost feels like she is feeling superior towards me for not being a mom. I'm not a mom, probably never will give birth to children of my own, and have no problem being stepmom. However, from my experiences of being a daughter with a mom and stepmom, I know if I were in Alex's situation, I wouldn't want to be bothered at that moment. This went on for about 5 minutes when I basically said to Bianca nicely, I'm going to do things my way, and I'll let her know how it goes. Bianca responded with something along the lines of, don't bother, you don't listen to me, so I don't want to know.
Ay, ay, ay. Jeez.
Ay, ay, ay.
Bianca.
So annoying.
You can think that OP is wrong, but stop acting like
Everything
this.
you do is right.
Yeah.
I hid my hurt feelings and told Bianca bye and that I would talk to her later. Alice calms down, we pick up her friend, and we all go out to dinner. We went to Target and even picked out hair dye, but I told Alice she needed to make sure it was okay with her mom before I did anything. Alice's mom ended up making a hair appointment for Alice to get it fixed. I texted Bianca after dinner and said, I know you kept saying, you're not a mom, and you're right, I am absolutely not a mom. Crisis still averted.
Ha ha. Look at you, Bianca. Don't you feel stupid?
Ha ha. She still hasn't responded, and we talk every day, multiple times a day. Should I have not texted her that? Am I wrong to have my feelings hurt over this? Am I being overly sensitive? Should I reach out or just let Bianca stew?
Bianca stew.
By the way, you should reach out to full episodes and listen to them.
please.
On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app. You just gotta search OK Story Time, and it's all right there. Do yourself a favor. Go on, baby girl. Go do it. You know you wanna. All right. What is she? Is OP the a-hole for saying that?
No. I think you're totally right to have called your friend. I would have done that. Or texted your friend. I would have done that too if I didn't know what to do. She can give you advice. Doesn't mean you have to take it though. I would let it cool off for a little bit. And then maybe if you feel like she's not, the type of person to be the bigger person, then maybe that's got to be you.
Yeah.
If you still want the friendship, if this is like a one-time thing, or if this is how she always acts, then maybe it's like time to reconsider the friendship. But if this is a one-time thing, then, let it cool off and then maybe have a discussion.
You just respond back to her and be like, you are a mom. You are a mom. You are a mom. You are a mom.
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, I know. Yeah,
You're not
I know.
a mom. So, what is it?
You're not my mom.
So am I. What is it? Never mind. I don't know.
Huh? Yeah, I think Bianca's kind of overstepping.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
there's no need to yell at OP and be like, you're doing it wrong. You're
No.
not a mom. You don't know. Let me go in there and talk her down the ledge.
You're not her mom.
Yeah, and you're
But she-
also not her mom. So you may be a mom, but you're not her mom.
mom.
So just let it go. I think OP handled it fine.
I remember what I was trying to say. I know you are, but what am I?
That's the. All right.
You're not a mom. I know you are, but not I. Boom. That's what you
Here's
used
an
to say.
update. I still have not heard from Bianca. To everyone who said Bianca is a witch, you're right. She has issues and I think is codependent on me as I'm her only friend. I often find myself playing mom to her. However, she's my only friend too. I have not heard from her and I have not reached out to her either. I'm not going to initiate a conversation either. If she does reach out to me, I plan on telling her how her "you're not a mom" times 10 was completely irrelevant and uncalled for, mainly just due to the fact she doesn't even know Alice. I had reached out to her for support, not to be demeaned. Coincidentally, though, one of my best friends from high school messaged me that same night asking if we could get together. So maybe I'll have a nice friend now.
Yeah, branch out. Start finding new friends.
I did not box dye Alice's hair. Her mom made her a hair appointment to get it fixed.
Well, there we go.
And that's all.
And that's it.
That's the end.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Love to hear it.
So then, I don't know. I hope that Bianca gets over it.
Yeah.
Gets over herself. I mean, for her kid's sake as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yikes.
I didn't want to invite one person to my wedding. Here's what I decided.
Cooked up a master plan, let me tell you.
The high school I, 23 female, went to lasted 5 years. 3 that we spent on boarding house, and 2 what we lived in flats close to the school building. That made me and my 32 classmates grow really close, and we met up multiple times a year, and whenever one of us has a big life event happening, like Wednesday. And even though I'm not totally close with all of them, I love them all to the grave. Well, with one exception.
Uh-oh.
By the way, this comes from Deleted. And if you want to submit your own stories, you know where to go. I'm Riley.
I'm Angie.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to be funny. You're here to comment down below. And OP says, I'm getting married next year. And right now we're looking at the guest list. I'm the 5th from my class to get married. And 4 before me all invited everyone from our class. I would love to continue this tradition, but I just can't stand this one girl. She's a huge self-absorbed person, which is a trait I hate.
I haven't met anyone other than those type of people who likes that trait. Have you ever met anyone who's like, you know what? I do like those kind of people. They're
Yeah.
fun.
People they're married to.
Huh.
Maybe I was a bit jealous about all the attention she got. Maybe our personalities were just too different. I don't know. But I spent the majority of our 5 school years together by ignoring her. It was fine. We still got along. But in our 4th year, we did a school project, and she was the project manager. How nice.
Boy.
We all know someone like this in school.
This is just going to get into such like, guys, it's not high school anymore. I don't know how long it's been since high school, but it's not high school anymore, and we're going to get annoyed with how people were in high school.
Is she going to be like the person who's like, I did all the work and nobody else did anything?
Yeah. She's probably, I mean, yeah, we knew people in high school, but like we can leave that in the past. It was high school. We don't need to
Yeah.
like drudge up this dumb stuff again.
I don't want to get too much into details, but she loved being the center of attention and was constantly making mountains out of molehills. with one of those mountains she shouted at and embarrassed me in front of the whole class and 3 teachers.
This is not a friend.
That's, yeah.
I left school early that day to cry. In the
Aw.
afternoon, she sent me a message saying everything cleared. Smiley face emoji.
Everything cleared.
Like what? The rainy clouds that you had hanging over your head?
What?
Huh?
Till this day, I have not received an apology. I do not want this girl who has never been kind to me unless it pleased her at my wedding. I talked to a friend from class the other day about planning to not invite her, and I was told it would be really unfair and an a-hole-ish move because it would show her and everyone else that I didn't want her to be there specifically.
Okay. Great. This is not my friend. It's my wedding, not yours.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried that she would get angry over not being invited. I'm worried that she not being invited will break this tradition in which everyone from class gets invited to major life events. Would I be the a-hole for not invited her anyways? Here's my thought process. Is this tradition bigger than your beef with this one person? If it's not bigger, don't invite her. If it is bigger,
Yeah.
invite her. That simple as that.
Honestly, yeah, if this tradition breaks, I mean, is that even a bad idea? Because what would probably happen is other people would be, if it breaks, then that just means that other people would be relieved that, oh, great, I don't have to do that. Because maybe someone can't afford inviting that many people to their wedding. Or maybe other people are beefing with other people, you know? Because people change after high school. People beef, you know, and you don't expect
Dude,
that to happen.
People do change. They either become welding instructors or they can't think straight enough because they sniff glue too much.
Sure thing.
That happened to a couple of my buddies.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, those are very oddly specific.
Edit. I'm very thankful for the input so far. What apparently didn't get through, though, is that I'm not asking if I'm the a-hole for inviting her or not inviting her. I'm perfectly aware that, of course, technically it's my right to invite whoever I want to my wedding, that I'm technically not the a-hole, but that's not my issue. The issue that I'm asking about is whether I'm the a-hole for potentially ruining the tradition for my classmates that I have going on. We have an update. All right.
Yeah.
Been over 2 years since my post.
Really? Oh, wow.
We had our wedding last September, everything according to my regional vid restrictions, and I just thought about giving an update.
Woohoo.
I ended up inviting her as well.
Okay,
it.
you were right.
Called it. Shout out to
Nice.
tradition.
A lot of the comments on my post told me that technically I wouldn't be the a-hole for not inviting her because it's my wedding and I can invite who I want, but that I had to determine for myself which was more important to me, the tradition of having everyone from my class around or not having her around.
That's what you said.
And
Yeah.
she chose tradition.
She did.
Did she choose the 6 or the 7?
7.
And it didn't take long to figure that out. So I got off my high horse and invited her. Based on the comments on the original post, I came to the conclusion that I might be extremely overreacting to everything she does and says, and that she probably wasn't going to do anything to ruin the wedding for me. And it turned out that that was true.
Okay.
She didn't wear anything scandalous like I had feared, nor did she annoy me otherwise. Apart from congratulations, I didn't even see her the whole day, only later at night when a lot of guests had already left. There was, however, a small incident where she took the opportunity of having everyone around and announced her pregnancy when the whole class was sitting together,
I'm not surprised.
In- including me and my husband.
Okay, so she did do exactly what you were worried about. She did make it all about her.
Up until, I mean, not at the very end. She was good all day. You missed her all day.
Mm-hmm.
But until it was just like you and your classmates all sitting at the table, she's like, so that was a cool wedding. I'm
Yeah.
pregnant, by the way.
Yeah. I guess silver lining, she did it, yeah, at the end of the day. Maybe it worked for the timing of things, like things were ending up down and we don't always get to see our friends, so it was a perfect time to
Nope.
say.
Nope, not buying it.
Here's my
Yeah.
question.
Not buying it. You
Here's my
got
question.
you got Facebook and Instagram, dude.
That's
Yeah,
true.
But
That's
here's my
true.
question. If she announced it, I'm like, okay, one, are you actually pregnant? Because I feel like she might not be.
Pee.
Oh.
Pee on it.
Pee on it.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I guess I can't be serving you any alcohol.
Oh, yeah. Were you
Beverages.
drinking tonight?
Yeah.
Question. Do pregnancy tests expire?
I don't.
I don't know.
don't know,
I've never been
actually.
pregnant in my life.
Everyone congratulated her, but that was about it, from what I could tell. By that point, I had already extensively thought about whether this grudge I was still holding against her was justifiable, and I ended up not feeling negative about it.
Okay, well, that's good.
I also didn't really have the time to think about it in the moment, but even now, months later, I can say I look indifferent at this situation. I like to say that I have grown as a person from this whole issue. Of course, also thanks to the feedback I got on my original post, I'm still learning to question my feelings for certain situations or people instead of blindly acting on them, but I think I'm getting somewhere. I want to go somewhere, but I don't know what to listen to.
What can you listen to?
I don't know.
I think you can listen to full episodes, stories just like this one.
Really? Where?
Oh, on like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere you can listen to your podcast.
What? What do I need to search up?
Oh, okay, story time. That's all.
All right.
The name of our show.
He's so smart.
Yes. Smartest girl I know.
What can I say?
We got an edit. Do we want to read this? I feel like it's just going to be like, oh, flowers and
I
flowers.
moved on.
Let's do it.
She's no longer in my life, but I'll keep her in my back pocket if I need to because of tradition. I don't know.
Let's do it.
I'm understanding that the comments that this topic has been discussed here before a lot. I'm not going to steer into the discussion. I just want to point out that culturally speaking, I don't think it's a big deal where I live as everyone makes it out to be. I only put in the post because it was literally the only time when I took notice of her throughout the whole wedding. Didn't expect it to take over all the comments. Ha ha ha. Edit 2, did I just offend her? Edit 3, I just want to mention that I didn't regret inviting her in case that didn't come across. Again, the pregnancy thing is not a big deal.
That's good.
I like the edit too. She's like, wait. I defended her.
Yeah, like,
What?
is this real?
You guys are best friends now.
Like, listen, that makes sense. I'm glad that she was able to be in that mindset. It is her wedding. I'm sure she had a much more exciting day that this thing could not just like ruin that. And it's good that she's not in the mindset to where that could ruin it. You know, I'm glad that, like, you know, some people feel different about like people overshadowing someone at their wedding, you know, like some people don't want people to wear certain colors or like things in their hair or something like that because they really don't want it to come close to how the bride looks and they don't want to be overpowered. Other people are like, are you kidding me? How could you overshadow me? Like, I look amazing. Wear whatever you want. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed.
So I'm happy with that. I'm glad.
You know, fair.
Yeah.